My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Me and Mickey Mouse over here are going to break down the entire UFC Orlando fight card, giving you our picks, our bets, our predictions, our fantasy plays. We're going to give you everything you need to know on how to make some money on this 15 fight card. But before we do, we're just handing money out. If we hit 10,000 subscribers before January 1st, we're at, what are we at? 80?
I think we're at 100,000.
Yeah, we only need like 1,100 more subscribers, which is not that bad. If
so
we
like
can get
the stream.
If we can get to 10,000 subscribers before January 1st, we're going to give you $1,000. And the only thing you need to do to qualify is subscribe to this channel, We Want Picks, and our other channel, Picks Nation, where we upload the individual fight videos. All the links are in the description. We're going to give somebody $1,000, and maybe we'll let you vote if we're giving all of it to one person or a few people or something like that.
And it could end up being me.
It could be you. It could be you. Anyway, subscribe to the channels, and if we hit 10,000 subscribers before January 1st, one of you is going to get $1,000. And we've just been handing you money this whole time. The $1,000 is going to be the cherry on top for the absolute cash we've been handing over. We have given you 38 units of net profit over the last 3 events. This is what those last 3 events looked like. We've crushed everything, the fantasy, the bets, the member parlay has been hitting. Even in the last fight where we lost the main event and had to redo the member parlay, like 15 minutes notice. That still hit, at least a 2-leg hit. We're giving you units. Become a premium member to get access to all of our bets and access to those bets early. WeWantPicks.com. It is only $10 a month. Click Become a Member, because not only do you get everything that gave you all of those units, you also get Prize Picks plays early. Those lines move. Underdog plays early. Those lines move. Bets early. Those lines move. We have a DraftKings optimizer. All of our fantasy plays. Everything you could ever want for freaking $10 a month. We gave you 38 units of profit. 38 units. If a unit is $10, I gave you 3 years of premium membership. Sign up now at WeWantPicks.com. And if you want $50 to really kick off that holiday season, go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. Make a deposit. We'll send you $50. It's that simple. Just make sure you use our link. Make sure you make a deposit, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. That is WeWantPicks.com/bets. Jacob, we've got 15 fights to break down. I hope you're ready.
I am more than ready. First of all, let me just say, like the stream. Subscribe if you are new. I actually kind of had something I really wanted to play. Like, I had something I wanted to say to start the stream, but I don't remember it. So,
wow, we're off to a great start.
Week off, right? Was it a week off?
It was a week off, and it is hard to shake that. Well, opening up the UFC Orlando fight card, we have Yazmin Jauregui taking on Istela Nunes. Yazmin Jauregui, 9-0 overall. She is undefeated in her career. She is coming off a win in her UFC debut. She's taking on Istela Nunes, 6-3 overall, 2-3 in her last 5, back-to-back losses in the UFC. I think we both agree Yazmin's going to win this fight, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. They're both strikers. Yazmin's a powerful striker. She's got a very promising career in front of her. Nice kicks, really enters that pocket aggressively and can get things done. She's got good takedown defense as well. The problem is she is fighting Istela Nunes, and you guys are going to be like, oh, Sam Hughes beat her. Sam Hughes isn't very good. Oh, she lost to Ariana Carnelozzi. She's not very good. The thing is, Istela Nunes is a professional kickboxer, and a pretty good professional kickboxer at that, and she's just been matched up with grapplers. So yes, she got pounded on her first 2 UFC fights against grapplers. Yazmin is not a grappler. This is striker versus striker. One of them is a professional striker. I still think Yazmin wins, but the only reason I'm thinking Yazmin wins is because Istela Nunes gasses. She does not have the cardio. But again, keep in mind, she gassed in a fight where there was wrestling. I don't see any wrestling here. I think Yazmin does win, but I am not loving this Yazmin, these wild lines on her, and I know people are going to throw in a parlay, and I don't think you should do that. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, as usual, Angela. I mean, completely, what a great breakdown. Your quick pick videos on Sundays are tremendous. I basically just watch those and repeat exactly word for word of my video. We get double the views. It works out for everyone. I just make it a little bit more entertaining.
Somebody's going to hear that.
I just take yours. You're very dry, reading off the teleprompter, and then I make it very entertaining. So that's how we have the process going here. But yeah, I completely agree. Istela is much better than people think she is, and the way that the odds reflect. I mean, minus 300 for Yazmin is a little bit crazy. I disagree a little bit with the cardio for Istela. She did gas, but she gassed basically using Sam Hughes as a heavy bag, right? There wasn't really much wrestling in the first round. She was doing what she wanted, but she kind of just punched herself out, and you kind of seen a trend with that in her fight, so you can't really trust her cardio, but the first round of this fight should be very, very fun. Both these girls are very, very technical in their striking. Yazmin showed us everything that you would want to show in her last fight. As you mentioned, takedown defense, toughness, cardio. I mean, everything that I doubted her going into that fight. I came out of it saying she is the real deal. She should win this fight. And I'm going to play a little bit of a second, third round finish for her because I think she lays on volume, second, third round, and finds a TKO. I like Yazmin in this fight, but the first round could get a little bit wild. There might be a moment here where you see Yazmin get hit and you're like, uh-oh. So I agree, but Yazmin should get it done.
Well, Istela doesn't really have any power. That's the other, I think Istela, if Istela had full-blown cardio, I actually would love her in an underdog spot. But her cardio is a bit weak, and that's the difference here. We do have a $2 super chat from Quint Lazenby, and we love Quint here, always generous with the super chats. He says, buy premium, please. Maybe like the stream, too. So thank you very much. If that's not a perfect super chat, I don't know what is. Here's a couple of bucks, and then he uses his platform to tell people to sign up for premium. Quint, my man. Pots and pans.
Pots and pans.
Well done. Anyway, we're both on Yazmin here. I'm not going to bet. Are you going to bet? You're not. I mean, you said you might.
I literally just placed it. Become a premium member. See what I just placed.
Okay. I'm not that confident, so I'm not going to do that. But we're both on Yazmin here. $9,300 in DraftKings. You think she might get a finish. So in that case, she's worth it. I think there are other fighters on this card that can score more with wrestling or finishes than Yazmin. So I'm not throwing her in my DraftKings. You're nodding, which means you agree?
No. I'm saying I think a multi-entry. If you're doing single, I don't think so. But multi, definitely she should be in one of them.
Sure. And if you're messing with multi-entry, we have an optimizer. We have an optimizer for premium members. You go in there, you click a few buttons, bing, bang, bazoom. It'll build you a lineup, 150 lineups, and it's perfect for multi-entry. Become a premium member, get access to that. Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. All you need to do is say more or less. This is total strikes, not significant strikes. If you're correct, you can triple your money. You can 25 times your money if you string those together. Yeah, that's a more. I agree. I think they're just, especially Istela, without the risk of wrestling, pitter-patter this whole fight. So I think they'll blow past.
She hits harder than you think.
Potentially. We just haven't really gotten to see all that power. And how about this graphic, though? You see that Cinderella's castle? I mean, what a top-notch job.
I can show you the world.
It's just a top-notch job. That's a Kermit the Frog. Don't.
Shimmering
we got 15.
splendor. Tell me, princess, okay. When did you last left your...
A whole new world.
Oh, boy. Now they left. They were excited, but they're left now.
Well, I have daughters. Don't start singing Disney songs and not expect me to kill. But, you know, I said this last stream. They are just killing me with the JoJo Siwa. It is just...
Oh, do it again. Let's hear it again. The people want it. They've been 2 weeks. They've been begging for it, Angelo.
It's just, oh my God. I'm a bounce back.
Go,
like
Angelo. Go, Angelo. Go. Go, Angelo.
You know what that's
Angelo,
from?
Go. Huh?
The scene that I will always, the movie I will always take that song from. It's not Go Angelo, obviously. In the movie, well, you take a guess.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
I didn't describe it well. Anyway, in Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze, so Ninja Turtles 2, go Ninja, go Ninja, go, go Ninja, go, when they're fighting Bebop and Rocksteady. What a scene that was. What a scene that was. Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have Francis Marshall in his official UFC debut, taking on Marcelo Rojo. Marcelo Rojo, 6-8. or sorry, 16-8 overall,
Whoa.
2-3 in his last 5. He is looking for his first UFC win after a couple of wars. Francis Marshall is undefeated, but very early in his career, he is coming off a Contender Series win, though, where he had 6 takedowns. And that's what Francis Marshall is. He's a heavy-handed grappler. He'll come forward. He will throw power. He'll shoot some takedowns. He's a little too comfortable striking. He keeps his hands a lot lower than a guy who isn't that technical of a striker, should keep his hands. But he's going to shoot, and he's going to do nice, solid blast doubles up the middle. Actual wrestling takedowns. He's fighting Marcelo Rojo. Marcelo Rojo is just tough. He comes forward. He's got pressure. He's got hands. He does have some wrestling. His defense is solid, but he's really just an aggressive guy who's going to come forward, take one, throw one, and just try to bomb his way to a win. He's 0-2 in the UFC. But there were some highlights there, and he was finished by Charles Jourdain, but he was winning that fight.
Dominating that
It was
fight.
short notice. He was up in weight, but then he gassed, and Charles Jourdain put it on. So more of the story here is Francis Marshall should win. He should be able to come in. He should be able to shoot takedowns, grind out Marcelo Rojo. But Marcelo Rojo is very tough. He's not a guy you want to stand toe-to-toe with. Like, he's not a big power guy, but he is a tough, stay-in-your-face guy that doesn't care what happens to him. He does not care about his body, his face, or any of that. So I like Francis Marshall to win because hopefully he will wrestle and grind. But Rojo's tough, and these odds actually probably seem pretty correct to me. You want the baby monitor? What do you think, Jacob?
No, I'm actually surprised that you gave Rojo the respect. I'm surprised you gave him the respect that he deserves, and I'm actually very surprised that the odds makers gave him the respect that he deserves, because he is a fucking dog. When you want an absolute dog, that is what Marcelo Rojo is. And if you guys didn't know, if you guys are new to the channel, Marcelo Rojo was a lock of the week back in the day with the Charles Jourdain fight, and he was like one of my most heartfelt lock of the weeks. I still absolutely adore Marcelo Rojo. When Brandon Moreno won the belt, Marcelo Rojo had the belt on his shoulder in the octagon with Moreno. I absolutely loved it. He's a great guy and an absolute dog. And in this fight, this seems like one of those fights where he is going to come out on top against a young gun newcomer, as you mentioned, that strikes a little bit too much. But the biggest hole to Marcelo's game is the takedown defense. He's not worthless on the ground. He's decent off his back. He knows what he's doing. He can get back to his feet, but he can be taken down easily, and that's exactly what Francis wants to do in this matchup. So the path to victory is very obvious for Francis, but if he starts brawling and Marcelo turns this into a brawl, he could definitely come out on top. But again, as you mentioned, the gas tank also an issue, and Francis in his last fight went 3 rounds. Didn't look like he had any issues at all, even with the wrestling and the striking. So I got to side with Francis on this. I'm not putting any money on Francis, and I might sprinkle a little bit on my dude Marcelo, to be honest with you.
I hear you. I think I think we're aligned there. The wrestling's going to be the difference for sure. But anytime you get, like, I don't have a bet here, because anytime you get a UFC newcomer against a gritty vet, there's a lot going on there. There's absolutely a lot going on. The only bet I might place, did BetOnline drop the takedown lines yet? Or they wait till the end of the
let me check. I don't see him, though.
Yeah,
I
they
will
usually
say
wait till later
one
in
little
the week.
one little note for Rojo is there's a lot of fights that he's won where he is losing and then wins. Kind of like the Charles Jourdain effect, where he's like up against the cage, getting beat on, and all of a sudden he throws a flying something, a flying this, and all of a sudden he's winning the fight. So like I said, he's a dog. Sometimes he's getting put in a corner. A dog in a corner. It's like a dog with a bone. You know what I mean? It's got to be going.
I hear you. Yeah, so we're both on Francis Marshall. We'll see. The only bet I would consider here is that takedown prop bet. If you don't know, BetOnline offers 2 different takedown prop bets. One is who's going to get more takedowns in this fight. And this is a bet. It's not even fantasy. Who's going to get more takedowns in this fight? Obviously, that pick is going to be Francis Marshall. Hopefully, those odds aren't going to be minus 900. The other is they set a line. What, is it there?
I'm placing this right now. When I talked about sprinkles, and I do this, I like to do this a lot with people that I know are going to wrestle and people that are decently versed in jiu-jitsu in the wrestling defense. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you have Francis as a wrestler, Marcelo with submission wins. He's decent off his back. He can threaten arm bars and all sorts of stuff. Marcelo Rojo round submissions. Do you have a guess of what they might be?
No, but you're going to get a little crazy with these flyers, and you're going to miss them all, and then you lose 9 units.
Plus 4,000, plus 4,500, and plus 6,000 for a guy that's going to be shooting takedowns, and Marcelo Rowe, who is very well versed on the ground. So I'm going to my sprinkle for Marcelo, I'll tell you right now, is going to be that, because those odds are crazy. Because he's going to be shooting takedowns.
When you say sprinkle, that should be a quarter of a unit.
Oh, it's going to be... Let's see.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, those are... But what's happening is those are live stream bets. Save those for the live stream.
Well, they might change now. They're out in the world. We almost have 10,000 subscribers. People are going to jump on those, and they might be minus money by the time the fight starts.
Did you know if we hit 10,000 subscribers, we're going to give somebody $1,000? Did you know that?
Yeah, because you made me deposit $1,000 into the We Won't Picks bank account to pay for it.
Just kidding. Let me hold some cash real quick for this giveaway. You know what's going to happen though? There's going to be one idiot that subscribes only to this channel and not the other one and doesn't get the money. That's what's going to happen.
Don't listen. None of you people listen.
They don't. And it's free. It costs nothing to subscribe. Anyway, I was saying the only bet I would consider is Francis Marshall. Takedown prop bet. BetOnline offers 2 takedowns. One is who's going to get more takedowns. Obviously, that's going to be Francis. We'll see what those odds are. The other is they set a line. They may say Francis Marshall 2 takedowns. Over is minus 115. Under is minus 115. In that case, I'm playing the over. I'm betting the over for sure. So we'll see when those drop. If you want to be alerted the minute they do, become a premium member, and you'll see when we place those bets. DraftKings, I do like Francis Marshall. As live as Marcelo Rojo is, and even if Marcelo Rojo wins by finish late, Francis Marshall's going to get a whole bunch of takedowns and a whole bunch of control. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably pretty good value, because like I said, if there's no like wild submission, which I hope there is at this point, but it should be Francis kind of grinding on top and Rojo struggling on the bottom. But I mean, he works out with Moreno, and Moreno's pretty well versed on the ground. He's only going to get better. I'm just saying.
All right, no, listen, those are ridiculous odds. If you said plus 1,200, I'd say you're a moron for considering that.
I know. That's why that I would. But 4,000, 4,500, 6,000 is probably, if you want to just play the first 2 rounds, because he does get tired, and I don't see him like getting a sub in the 3rd round. So maybe the first 2 rounds, but plus 4,000 is like when they're dry and all of a sudden a guillotine's there. Crazier things have happened.
And you know they'll be grappling. Like that's the odds for Tuivasa to win by submission to be plus 4,000. Because how is that going to happen? But what are the odds? Are you looking that up? I'm curious. What are the odds for Tuivasa to win by submission?
He's got 1, 2. I mean, he's got 3 armbar submission wins.
Listen, I hear you.
4 armbar submission wins.
Okay, we're just going to sit here while you read his topology.
What was your question? I have the odds. Yeah, what do you need?
I said plus 4,000 is like Tai Tuivasa odds. What are his odds?
Oh, for submission? I literally think that they are, because I actually looked at them. I'm always looking at wild stuff. Tai Tuivasa by submission is plus 4,000.
So the bookmakers have said Tai Tuivasa and Marcelo Rojo have the exact same chance to win by submission in the first round. It's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's decent value.
I mean,
Sprinkles, tiny. Don't do anything crazy.
No, I agree. And you don't need to tail everything. We've given you a whole bunch of profit.
Right.
Now towards the end of the year is when you should appreciate you have the profit, because there's people out there that, and good for them, they do what we do and they're transparent, whatever, but there are people out there that just, they can't make money to save their life. Hemorrhaging money. Blank sheets, just every single bet is a loss. It's rough out there. Pick your spots. And don't chase, right? Jacob likes to do little sprinkles, as he says. But
right. and I'll tell you guys, like the live stream, like the last 2 weeks, because we killed it for a while, and then the live stream bets started getting a little wild. Before that live stream, I was like, listen, I don't feel good about this card, yada, yada. I think that one card was a little bit of a weird card. This week, I know you don't feel like super great about this card, but I feel fantastic. So I feel very confident in this card.
I hear you. Anyway, we're both on Francis. We both think he should work out in DraftKings. The Monkey Knife Fight strike line, I'm not going to touch it in this fight because I don't know how much striking there's actually going to be. So theoretically, it should be less. But Marcelo defends a takedown or 2. Francis does get comfortable striking. They could just end up swinging wild. So I'm not going to touch the Monkey Knife Fight strike line. In all reality, it should be a less more because Francis should just get takedowns, hang out, pound. and that's it. Because these are total strikes, not significant. What do you think?
I think it might be a more. I think Rojo, even off his back, knows how to stay somewhat safe and can do some strikes and try to scramble and stuff. So probably more.
No, and it is literally total strikes, the pitter patter while defending takedowns, all of it. If you are confident, want to give it a shot, WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit. You give them 10, they'll give you 10. You give them 100, they'll give you 100. Take the free money, play this line or another one, and see what happens. See what happens.
Those are elbows from the bottom, by the way. Look at that thing. Look at the point on this. Jesus Christ.
That's what happens when you're skin and bones.
Yeah, you see that, but you see, you can see that tricep. I mean, that's really the tricep.
It's skin and bones.
No, this is the tricep right here. You can see that. You put it like this, and usually a lot of people like to do.
That's an elbow camel toe, and you have skin on top of your bone, and that's it.
Nope.
Yep, that's the hole inside the bone. That's rough.
Yeah, this is skin and bones right here.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, no, that's not.
You want to touch this shit? Huh? You want to touch this?
you.
Look at this. Look at the droop on this fucking tricep right here. Oh my god!
That's a boy's medium. That shirt. Can you show us the tag of the shirt? Can you show us the tag of the shirt?
Holy shit! I can show you this. Go blue. Fuck Ohio State.
Boys, you're wearing a boy's medium shirt.
I might have gotten this in middle school. Honestly, this is a very. Honestly, I mean, this is. Yeah. I had to cut it because I think it was. Look at this. If it's like this, a little tight, I had to blow that shit out.
Yeah, congratulations. You haven't grown since middle school. Well done. Next up. At UFC Orlando, we have Natan Levy taking on Genaro Valdez. Natan Levy, 7-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off his first UFC win, and he's taking on Genaro Valdez, who's 10-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off the first loss of his career. And we basically have grappler versus grappler, essentially. Natan Levy, very good grappler. He grapples every opportunity he can get. He's wasting no time trying to get it to the ground, rolling around, going from there. He can struggle a bit with control, which is why in his last fight he had 9 takedowns, right? If that's not an indication of a phenomenal wrestler, that's an indication of somebody that can't keep somebody on the ground. So Natan Levy is getting the takedowns, but he can't keep people there. Genaro Valdez, he's a well-rounded guy, but he is primarily a grappler. He has no issues getting into a slugfest, though, so his striking can be a little bit wild, but he is fun. He had 4 takedowns in his Contender Series win in less than 6 minutes, and then he got knocked out by Matt Frevola, which, when it happened, was like, Genaro Valdez, I guess he's not that good. But Matt Frevola is, that loss is holding up a little better than it was before. I like Natan Levy to win. These odds are moving a little bit. I do think Natan wins. His grappling can be a little sloppy, but I think he's going to get the takedowns. I think he's going to get the control, potentially a submission. And they're both grapplers. I like the grappling style of Natan, meaning he's more aggressive with trying to get those takedowns, and you're not going to bait him into a slugfest. So that's why I trust him. What is that? What was that?
That's you.
Is that Natan or me? Because I fucking smacked the shit out of you. Okay.
That's you on your little high horse.
What high horse?
That's you with your little attitude, your little northeast attitude.
Just because I'm a full 1.5 feet taller than you doesn't mean I'm sitting on a horse.
Oh, boy. Oh.
You're short. I'm not. And that's just the reality of life.
You're small.
Who do you think
I'm
wins?
big. I'm right. You're wrong.
Matilda.
Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's funny that he's saying that too, because he's fucking like, I'm big, you're small.
Yeah,
And he's fucking, he's what's his name? Danny DeVito. You know what I mean? What a great movie, though. Huh? Matilda? We can sit here and talk about Matilda.
If I could move things with my mind, I would snap your neck right now. Who do you think wins?
Good luck. Good luck snapping this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, big.
This is what's funny is I just got done talking about how confident I am in this this card. This is the fight, and I think even my quick pick video, someone was like, he didn't even say who he picked in this fight, because I honestly, my pick is Natan Levy in this fight because he is like probably the more, I guess, well-rounded fighter and more of a threat on the ground where I think this fight is going to end up going. But early on in this fight, Genaro showed how absolutely tough he is he was throwing absolute heat, got dropped, what was it, 6, 7 times and still got back to his feet. And even then, he wasn't even put out. He was like, I'm still want to fight against Frevola. listen, I don't know who's going to win this fight. My pick is Levy because I assume that he can withstand the early flurry that Valdez is going to bring and get the fight to the ground. But as you mentioned, or as you did not mention, you said that he does everything to get the fight to the ground. I disagree. I think that guy stands and strikes. He's kind of got pillow fists. He's got really good kicks, though. If he tries to stand with Valdez early, it's going to be big trouble. If he's able to withstand the storm, now Valdez is in big trouble because he can get those takedowns and he is a submission threat on the ground. So the way I played this, and this actually moved it crazy, and that was what my face was for, to be honest with you. For some reason, I read it and I was like, because I was proud of myself. I did the under 2.5 free bet there for premium members, whatever. I got it for minus 155. It's already minus 205.
Wait, under 2.5. It was a 1.5 round line.
It wasn't. So I got under 2.5 at minus 155.
Let me double check.
Again, I have under 2.5 at minus 155. The odds right now are under 2.5 at minus 205. I wouldn't be surprised to get those if those get a little bit more wild because I think that these boys really get after early. If there is a takedown, they start wrestling. Obviously, that can go to a distance, but I think there's a finish either way. Give me Natan Levy because I think he can weather the storm and then get to the ground and find a finish there because Valdez might get tired. But I think this is going to be a gas tank fight. We saw Levy get tired in his last fight. When he gets tired, he knows how to stay safe, right? I mean, he keeps that nice shell, but he does get tired. And I've seen Valdez get tired as well. So I think this is going to be a gas tank fight. Somebody gets a finish early, but if it goes on, who knows who's going to win? Long story short, I'm taking Levy.
So funny. So premium members have seen a bet from me over 1.5 on this fight. Over 1.5. And it's been up there for over a week. Because they dropped the round lines a while ago, and now they've moved it. That's so funny.
What were the odds for over 1.5?
Minus 205.
Minus 205 for over 1.5, and I got minus 155 for under 2.5?
That means people were crushing the over, so they just changed it to 2.5.
That means you're fucking stupid.
This fight definitely goes over 1.5 rounds. Absolutely.
You want to bet?
I did. I literally did.
All right.
You chimpanzee.
I mean, I think this could be over in a fucking minute and a half.
Okay, let's bet.
I literally just said that, and you were like, "Oh, I heard it did bet."
Well, because the last 3 times we did this, I took $100 off. I even refunded the last one and said use that to gift memberships. How'd that go? Clown ass. That's what I thought. So if you want to send another 100, I'm fine with that. Would you like to bet?
Under 1.5. I mean, I have under 2.5. I'm not going to bet the under. I have the under 2.5. You have the over.
I bet over 1.5.
I know. So if it goes,
you're the one who.
If it goes over 1.5, yeah. If it goes over 1.5 but under 2.5, that means who wins? Do you see what I'm saying?
I win.
Oh. What do you mean? If it goes over 1.5 and under 2.5, what do you mean?
Then it's a push.
I win.
Then it's a push.
I win.
That is, yeah, I do, and so do you. So it's a push.
So the only way you can win the bet is if it goes to a decision. So yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, okay. Stupid ass.
Wait, well, I'll think about it.
If it's under 2.5, but over 1.5, we push. If it's under 1.5, I win. If it's over 2.5, you win. So basically, you win if it's a decision. We push in between. Under 1.5, I win. So I'll take that all day. $100. Let's go.
Yeah, that's not fair. Plus, you said you think it ends in the first round, so that should be the bet.
I said under.
You said, I don't think this gets out of the first round.
But my bet is under 2.5.
Okay. Anyway, we both like Natan to win, right?
Right.
Okay. We both like Natan Levy to win. $8,900. He's another guy. He may be worth it with the takedowns because look at his last fight. He had 9 takedowns against Mike Breeden. 9 takedown scores, an insane amount on DraftKings. So he's probably going to be worth that $8,900, but I do agree Genaro's one of the more live underdogs, and there's a ton of live underdogs here. What do you think of DraftKings?
Like I said, Natan is probably my least confident favorite on the card. So for $8,900, I think there's better value elsewhere, honestly. But I mean, if he does win, he probably does score 1 million points. So
there's a ton of grappling, and I think you can trust him to grapple. But I hear you. Monkey Knife Fight strike line 61 to 43. I think this goes over that 1.5 round line that I was able to get a week and a half ago. So I like the more and more on Monkey Knife Fight. What do you think?
I think it's the last.
Okay. WeWantPicks.com/MKF. If you want to take a stab at that Monkey Knife Fight strike line, they will instantly match your deposit up to $100. Give them 50, they'll give you 50. Give them 100, they'll give you 100. Play the more and more here. I do think it hits. He says less. I'm smarter than him. That's a pretty simple breakdown there. And if you want to become a premium member, it is only $10 a month. You get all the bets, all the picks, and everything else you could ever want to make money watching these fights. Next up.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck was that? Holy shit. Ow, it fucking hurt.
Next up at UFC Orlando, we have Tracy Cortez taking on Amanda Ribas. Tracy Cortez is 10-1 overall, 5-0 in her last 5, with her only loss being in her UFC debut. Amanda Ribas, 11-3 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, coming off the controversial loss to Caitlin Chikagian. This is an interesting pick because Amanda Ribas is the more well-rounded. I can't do it. I cannot focus on whatever the
You can't focus. I can't even look at my fucking monitors right now.
Anyway, I think Amanda Ribas is the more well-rounded fighter. We've seen her offensively wrestle. We know she's got good grappling. We know she has decent striking. She's the more well-rounded fighter. But Tracy Cortez is definitely the better wrestler. And I think that's all that matters. I think she's going to get the takedowns, avoid the submissions. And I think that's the only thing that matters here. So Tracy Cortez is going to be the pick. But I fully recognize Amanda Ribas is the better, more dangerous fighter. Absolutely the better, more dangerous fighter. But this line's moving. Like, this is basically even money. Tracy Cortez. Yeah, Tracy Cortez. I have a money line on her. What did I get my money line bet at? I definitely got it at plus money. Well, and I definitely got the bet. I'll tell you right now. I got the Tracy Cortez at plus money, plus 105. So not a big deal, but it's a little swing there. It is a 1.5 unit money line. It should only be 1 unit. I did a unit a few days later. I'm looking at the fights. I did a half a unit, and I forgot I had the original bet there. So anyway, 1.5 units on Tracy Cortez should only be 1. The problem with that bet, I'm going to talk against myself here, is while I think Tracy Cortez wins this fight, it goes against my normal logic of Amanda's got more ways to win. Amanda can win by submission. She can win by knockout. She could even win a decision. Tracy could really only win a decision. But I still think she does that. So Tracy Cortez is the pick, but, I feel a little less confident about it than I did originally.
Luckily for you guys, I can give a very unbiased opinion on this fight, and then I will give a more biased opinion after that, because both these girls, first of all, world-class athletes, right? I mean, super, super intelligent. Absolutely beautiful. They have both in respectful relationships. I'm not going to, pry into that. I just know that I'm definitely, I think you would agree, I'm definitely better in whatever they have. But, that's for them to decide, and they will both figure out as time goes on. But when it comes down to this fight, when I first broke down this fight, I obviously my heart is with Amanda, and okay. Here's the breakdown of this fight. I'm trying to focus up here. Here's the breakdown of this fight. Tracy wants to wrestle, right? And when she wrestles, she actually does wrestle, right? She shoots singles, she shoots doubles. She is a wrestler.
What a pivot that was, dude.
I'm trying to be.
I know you went from full pervert to serious, like HR walked.
I'm trying to be very professional in this fight. There's nobody more professional than me. When she wrestles, it is wrestling. It is not like body lock, takedowns, this and that. And the issue with Amanda is the way that she defends takedowns is with her judo. You can't really, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't really defend takedowns with judos when it's singles, when it's double, when somebody's on your leg. If somebody's on your body, right, that's where she excels. People get up to her, clinch her, and then she tosses them. She uses her very, very, very good judo, gets them on the ground, she gets on top, and then she uses her jiu-jitsu. That is what Amanda wants to do. Judo to jiu-jitsu. Against Tracy, it's going to be tough because she is a wrestler, and she wants to use wrestling takedowns, and she's much bigger than Amanda. This is up in weight for Amanda. I don't know why she wants to stay at this weight class. She's going to be the smaller person, and a lot of what Amanda does is strength. And I will say, looking strong. I mean, I was looking at the Instagram today for a few hours. She is looking very, very strong. Her back is absolutely jacked. If she can somehow get on top of Tracy, I think she can control Tracy. And I think that's why she was the favorite in this fight. People see her winning striking, defending takedowns, or ending up on top and use her jiu-jitsu. So she definitely can win this fight, but the safer play, as weird as that sounds for what was the underdog in Tracy, is probably Tracy, because you know what she's going to do. You know what she can do, and she's shown time and time again she can control those positions versus just about Melissa Gatto is very, very dangerous off her back, and she really had no issues controlling Melissa Gatto on the ground. So, you know, my heart is telling me Amanda. My mind is telling me Tracy. But after I saw that picture today of Amanda Ribas, I'll be honest with you, I'm going Amanda Ribas. I was going to pick Tracy. She was actually going to be my lock of the week. It was going to be a whole thing. Fuck that. Amanda. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this, Amanda. I'm going with Amanda.
All because you saw that her back is jacked on Instagram?
She looks strong as shit. Yeah, she does look strong. She's a strong girl, man. Better on top than off her back, though.
Okay. Anyway, $2 super chat from Degenerate UFC fan asking you, would you bid on their fight-worn kits if they're auctioned? I think we know the answer to that. Okay, well, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. We'll let Jacob catch his breath. Very appreciated. I think we do all know the answer, and I think Jacob would turn it into basically a pillow cover, pillowcase. That's what that would become.
Probably be a little bit more invasive than that.
Okay. His enema machine. Anyway, Tracy Cortez, $8,000 in DraftKings. I think she's worth it because I think she gets the takedowns. I think she gets the control time. And this is basically an even money fight. So I'm on the Tracy side, probably worth it in DraftKings because of the takedowns and the control.
Together. Oh, my God. How unprofessional.
Do you agree?
Yes, one of these girls needs to be, because if Amanda controls the fight, she can find a finish. And if Tracy controls the fight, she's going to score very, very well with control and takedown. So I think one of these girls should definitely be in your lineup. I'm going to play probably the Ribas side and hope she gets it done. But Tracy, honestly, might be the better play for the value.
Yep, I hear you. I mean, you get it's basically even money. A couple more bucks for Amanda, but Amanda's the more well-rounded fighter, but we already explained all that and broke all that down.
Oh, and Monkey Knife Fight.
Look at that. Chris at Monkey Knife Fight just playing mind games with Jacob. Just absolutely playing mind games with Jacob. I guess somebody in the live chat could explain what 69 is.
69.
Since Jacob didn't have that kind of youth. You saw the skinny elbows. He's skin and bones. You know, he didn't have the glitz and the glamour of an appropriate childhood. Anyway, Tracy Cortez is my pick. You flipped your pick. You're going Amanda Ribas. I think she wrestles controls. I don't know why you picked Amanda. You didn't actually say why. You just said she's jacked on Instagram.
Well, I think that she can. I think that eventually she uses her. When Tracy shoots a takedown, I think she can reverse position. She's her jiu-jitsu is very, very good. Her judo is very, very good. And she looked, the strength of her is going to be incredible. I think she can find a sweep and end up on top. And if she's up on top, she's a problem.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in this fight. A lot of people talk about why isn't this on the main card? Because I do not imagine this being an exciting fight. You and I talked about that earlier. This is probably a boring fight. This is probably not a fun fight and not a main card worthy fight, but it is an interesting fight, and the outcome matters here. Because Amanda Ribas was robbed in her last fight, and she's got some quality wins. Tracy Cortez came back after a while away, got herself a quality win. There's some actual, divisional impacts on this fight here. So we'll see what happens. And I'm on the Cortez side, Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. It's probably a more. This probably goes 3 rounds. They probably go at it a little bit. I think Amanda is going to strike in some of the takedown attempts and before those takedown attempts and even off of her back, and that's how she'll get past the 69. You're making that face. I think these women land over 100 normally.
I think there's a lot of wrestling and grappling and scrambles. I think it's probably less. But, Amanda, too, is a little warrior. As far as, like, toughness goes, man, she is a little warrior. Tough as shit.
Well, and that's why, 69, we're getting a discount on this. I think they're typically landing over 100 strikes per fight, and I think it goes the distance. So with that being said, I like the more. Go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They'll instantly match your deposit. Play the more. You can triple your money if it hits. Next up, at UFC Orlando, we've got Darren Elkins taking on Jonathan Pearce. Darren Elkins, 27-10 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is coming off that win over Tristan Connolly 6 months ago. Jonathan Pearce is 13-4 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a nice 4-fight win streak. Is Jonathan Pearce the biggest favorite on the card?
No.
Who is?
RDA is.
RDA is. Okay, yeah, that is right. But he's close to it at minus 450.
GSP.
Yeah, the letter G, SP. And I get it, right? He showed that he can grapple. He'll come forward. He'll shoot takedowns. He's averaging almost 7 takedowns per fight. He had 5 against Kai Kamaka, 6 against Omar Morales, 6 against Christian Rodriguez. And when he gets takedowns, he's just looking for TKOs, looking for, just to get the fight out of there. He's got 17 fights. He has only been to a decision 2 times. Darren Elkins is this like old school, gritty, tough guy that literally has built a name on just getting the crap beaten out of him and continuing to come forward. He does have sort of heavy hands, I guess, that he uses to close the distance, and then he shoots his own takedowns. I like JSP. I like Jonathan Pearce to win this fight. My only concern there, if you will, is yes, he gets a bunch of takedowns, but he also gets taken down. In his last win against Makwan Amirkhani, he was taken down he had 4 takedowns, but he was taken down in that fight. He was taken down 3 times in that fight. So if Darren Elkins is going to come here and start shooting, he'll get takedowns. So I like Jonathan Pearce to win. I trust him to shoot his own takedowns. He's never really out of a fight, but I'm hoping he doesn't play games and he starts wrestling early. Just start wrestling early. Don't play games. Just take that away from Darren Elkins. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, Darren Elkins is at that point where he's going to beat everyone that he can out-wrestle, but he can't out-wrestle JSP in this matchup. And that's as simple as this was. If you want somebody that is like and I mentioned this in my breakdown, if you want somebody that is like the Chimaev of the 145 division, I'm not saying JSP is at the level of wrestling, but as far as like the relentless wrestling, non-stop wrestling that Chimaev has shown at times, that is JSP. I mean, he is relentless in the wrestling. And you mentioned the takedowns by Amirkhani. He was never in danger. I mean, he basically was getting taken down and winning scrambles, and then getting taken down again and winning scrambles. Not only is he good off of offensive takedowns and winning positions and that way winning scrambles, but if he is taken down, he is very, very good at not only staying safe, but winning scrambles. And even Amirkhani had him in like Darces and this and that, and those are like his special submissions. JSP doesn't panic. He knows how to stay safe and end up on top. So even if Darren Elkins gets a takedown, I think he's going to lose a scramble, and JSP is going to end up on top. I love JSP in this matchup. It's no disrespect to Darren Elkins. He's tough. He probably will be there in the end. I don't know if JSP is going to find a finish on him. Darren Elkins, Indiana zone, known for toughness, all of us. I got to go with JSP.
Yeah, we're both on the JSP side. I only know one person from Indiana, and he's not tough at all. So I guess congratulations for Darren for sort of breaking that stereotype. But
Larry Bird?
I don't know him.
That guy played with a broken back for like 15 years.
I don't know him.
Dave Letterman?
I know you. Skinny.
Michael Jackson? Nobody more tougher than Michael Jackson.
Bad, terrible immune system. Underdeveloped shins. In need of calf implants.
That's probably true.
That's the Indiana person I know. Great teeth, though. Great teeth. Which also bucks an Indiana trend of meth mouth. So congratulations.
These are real, too. These are my own. These are God-given.
Congratulations. We're both on JSP here. I'm probably giving Darren Elkins a little more credit than you are, but I think Jonathan Pearce gets the takedowns, gets the control, but I do want him to shoot early. I don't want him to just hang out and wait because he can be taken down. But $9,500 in DraftKings? Probably. Because of the takedowns, the control. In DraftKings, it's 5 points per takedown. 5. The dude averages almost 7. That's 35 points just for that. Not anything else, just for that. Not including
and sweeps
the strikes,
are 5 points too. Even if he gets taken down, he wins a sweep.
Yeah, so I think he'll score well. And plus, Darren, his name is the damage because he can take a ton of damage. But the reality is that's starting to, like anything else with age, that's starting to go. So I like JSP for sure. So do you. $9,500 in DraftKings probably worth it. No bet, though, because maybe a takedown bet. We'll see when BetOnline drops those. But
the thing I was eyeing was -3.5. It was like -200. It's -240 now. That's probably better value than the money line if you want to play it. I wouldn't suggest
but Darren
it. But
could win a round.
No, he will not.
No.
Stop. Jesus.
Absolute asshole. Then why don't you just bet it?
Okay, I will right now. You want to see? Okay, I'll do it right now. Click, 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 click. Stupid ass.
So me, I'm the stupid one in this situation. I said why that bet may not hit, and then you're like, oh, it'll definitely hit. And I said, well, then go ahead and bet it. And then you did whatever the hell that was.
Click, 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 click. Place the bet. Become a premium member. See what it is.
I'm the problem here for sure, but you should become a premium member and see what bet Jacob just placed. WeOwnPicks.com. It's only $10 a month, and we have given you 38 units of net profit over the last 3 events. We only have 3 more events. I've given you 38 units. I've covered membership for quite some time. WeOwnPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. You get the bets, the picks, the DraftKings Optimizer, Prize Picks, Underdog Fantasy, Monkey Knife Fight, full FanDuel. We have a full slate of FanDuel content for those people. Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line 58-72. I'm not going to touch it. There might be so much grappling here. And like I mentioned, Jonathan Pearce, in 17 fights, he's been to 2 decisions. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm not doing the Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. What do you think?
I agree.
All right. Great.
Great.
And yes, I miss you. Says, can you prepay the whole year?
I missed you too.
Yes, you can. We're adding that to the website, but if you do want to prepay for a whole year, I'll give you a discount. I've been doing it for
Venmo is.
I've been doing it for $100 instead of the $120, and you can Cash App or Venmo or PayPal it if you'd like, but it's not going to go through the system because we'd have to add that in our full redesign. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us on the website and we'll get you squared away. Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have Michael Johnson taking on Marc Diakiese. Michael Johnson, 20-18 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off 2 impressive grappling performances, and he's taking on Marc Diakiese, 16-5 overall, I've got those backwards.
What backwards?
I said Michael Johnson's coming off 2 impressive grappling performances, but it's Marc Diakiese coming off 2 impressive grappling performances.
I thought you said Marc.
No, I did it backwards. Anyway, Michael Johnson is 1-4 in his last 5, coming off a split decision loss to Jamie Mullarkey. Marc Diakiese is 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a couple of impressive grappling performances, which is interesting because he's not a grappler. He's a kickboxer, a very good kickboxer at that, but he's become a wrestler. His last 2 fights, he has had 19 takedowns. 19 takedowns in his last 2 fights with 26 minutes of overall control
Sounds like
time.
me at a bar on a Friday night. Just running through.
When's the last time you went to a bar? This is the problem. This is what you do, and people think that's who you are. But
yeah, hairy like animal.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Anyway, what was that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Sometimes we do these shows and I'm like, what am I doing? Who am I hanging out with? What am I doing?
This show has gone to shit.
The picks are fire and the bets are unbelievable, but yeah,
holy shit. Speaking of, never mind. We got Mystery Science Gaming 3000.
$50 super chat from Mystery Science Gaming 3000. Thanks for the time you guys put into this. Well, we appreciate it. We were just talking about Jacob taking down chicks at the bar. Hopefully that counts.
That buys hopefully a couple
that counts. Thank you very much. This is genuinely appreciated. Very generous of you. So back to the breakdown. Marc is a kickboxer who has become a wrestler. An effective wrestler at that. I mentioned 19 takedowns in his last 2 fights, 26 minutes of control time, that's in and of itself is a very impressive number. And if you mix that with his striking, he's a pretty dangerous guy. Michael Johnson's he's a tried and true vet at this point. He's a well-rounded guy. And yes, he's 3-2 in his last 5. He's got 18 losses. But the reality is these losses are to top-notch people. Beneil Dariush,
like
Nate Diaz, Khabib, Justin Gaethje. That loss to Jamie Mullarkey, a lot of people think he won. That was short notice and a split.
Like Miles Jury and Reza Madidi.
Miles Jury was
and
good.
Paul Sass and Jonathan Brookins and James Krause and Eric Marriott
that poor
and
bastard.
Ted Worthington and Joe Brammer.
You're just reading all 18 of these. Anyway, Michael Johnson's a well-rounded guy, decent everywhere, mostly a striker. But I do think Marc Diakiese wins this fight. And I think he's going to use the wrestling. We've seen him use the wrestling in his last 2 fights. That's not who he is over his first, 16 plus 5? 21. Over his first 19 fights, he was not a wrestler. He is now a wrestler in his last 2. I did that fast.
No, it was
he's
quick.
Now
Quick.
He's now a wrestler.
You asked it, and I had already opened up Excel. I was like, equals sum.
You should see me at the casino. Like Rain Man doing the blackjack numbers. I don't need them to say the numbers out loud. I got from Connecticut. Of course I've been to the casino.
You've never been to a casino. No. You've never taken over a casino like me, I'll tell you that. Not in your cheetah print. I rock a cheetah print sweater, and I've rocked that shit.
Yeah, you go to Vegas, and you're like, look at me, Joey Cool. Oh, look at me, I have a fanny pack.
I wear matching cheetah print sweaters with my best friend, and we walk through Vegas, and we get compliments left and right. Oh, my God, you guys are so cute. And we're like, oh, my God, thank you.
Yeah, no, that absolutely 100%.
You want to come back to our room and party?
I think, did you go back to any rooms and party, Jacob?
I went back to my room, and I partied.
Marc Diakiese, I think he gets this done. I think he will use the wrestling. He is a very good striker, though, and if he wrestles early and gets Michael Johnson thinking he's in a wrestling match, and then he comes out with the strikes, he could actually put Michael Johnson away. So I do like Marc Diakiese to get this win, and the wrestling has just made him a more complete fighter, even though he's been getting booed like crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, eventually Marc is going to have to go back to the striking because he's not going to be able to out-wrestle everyone to a title, I wouldn't think, especially not in the 155 division. But this is probably still a matchup where he can still use his wrestling and win because if you watch Michael Johnson, yes, he is probably better than his 2018. It does have pretty good takedown defense. But you go to that Clay Guida fight a few fights ago. Clay Guida was able to get 2 singles, get on his leg. He defended a few of them, but end up on his back. If Marc can get to those same positions, I mean, it's game over. He's much stronger, much more explosive than Clay Guida, has much better control than Clay Guida once he gets you on the ground and he stays on top to keep you there. So I think that Clay Guida fight was a big red flag going into this fight. Marc's going to see that. Oh, I can get to those positions. And if I do, I can get him to the ground and I control him. We'll see if the boos maybe get to him. Live crowd. Maybe he realizes that people are starting to hate him. And if people hate you and people think you're boring, you're not going to get the big fights. That's just the way the UFC works. So maybe he comes out and tries to strike and something happens. But if he wrestles, it should be an easy peasy lemon win.
Okay. I mean, we're both on the Marc side here. We're both on the Marc side. Michael Johnson is better than his record. He's had a tough slate. He's had some gym issues. I mean, his coach died on him, bouncing around. But I do think Marc Diakiese gets this done, as do most people, hence the odds. I'm not throwing him in Monkey Night or in DraftKings, though. Even though with the wrestling, he could very well be worth it, right? He can get those takedowns, get the control. But I trust the JSP more than I trust the Marc Diakiese.
I mean, that's Vegas right there. It doesn't get more Vegas than that. You see that cheetah print?
You hung out with no women, did nothing cool. You drank mimosas with a fanny pack and sunglasses indoors.
You know how much money was in that fanny pack? At least $200.
How many mimosas did you have?
Not mimosas. I didn't drink a whole lot there, but I was
screwdrivers. Like a...
No, I didn't. Last time I was there, wasn't a lot of drinking.
No, you literally were bragging about drinking some stupid ass. It was vodka and orange juice. It was a screwdriver.
No, that was a few years ago. Last year was not a lot of drinking.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
But we did meet Dana White.
Yep, you sent that picture. Congratulations on all your success. What do you think of DraftKings? Marc could be worth it, but I think there's other people at that price point I trust a little more.
Oh, DraftKings? I thought you were saying Monkey Knife Fight. DraftKings, yeah, I think it's very good value, $9,200.
Yeah, I just potentially. Now everybody thinks you're a cokehead. By the way, congratulations on that.
Coke. It's more natural, I would say.
Stop with the sex bite. That's such a weird. That's so weird. Anyway, Monkey Knife Fight strike line 48-67. Man, that's another tough line. It might be a more because Michael let his hands go and Marc will strike in the grappling exchanges, but that's a tricky line. What do you think?
I think it's less.
Could be. This comment's pretty funny. I'm not going to pin it, but it's a pretty funny comment.
Angelo's moist. Yeah. I agree.
Yep, that one. Anyway, weonpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. If you make a deposit using our link, we'll send you $50 as a thank you. weonpicks.com/bets. Holidays are coming. Everybody could use $50. Sign up, make a deposit. We'll take care of you. Speaking of older, tried and true vets, we got Clay Guida taking on Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman. Clay Guida 37-22 overall. He's 2-3 in his last 5, alternating wins and losses. Scott Holtzman is 14-5 in his last 5. He's 14-5 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off 2 knockout losses in a row. But he did take a year off. He took a year off. He let his brains unscramble themselves, which is what you're supposed to do after that happens. So hopefully he's fully recovered, because I do think Scott Holtzman wins this fight. I think he's the better striker. I think he's the more dangerous striker. What the hell? What are you looking at?
Sound like it's pouring down rain, but I think it's just windy as fuck out.
Jesus Christ.
Why don't you focus on yourself, man? Come on. Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to do this, and you're looking around, trying to, wondering.
Well, why are you looking at me? Look, you're supposed to be looking at the camera.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I think Scott Holtzman gets this done. Because, yes, Clay Guida is busy. Clay Guida is active. He's a decent striker, good wrestling when he mixes it in. But he is aging, and he's never been dangerous. Clay Guida does not have power in his hands. He's not going to knock you out with one punch. He's just going to work hard, try to take you down, try to control you from there. And Scott Holtzman actually is the more dangerous of the two fighters. Yes, he's coming off 2 knockouts in a row, but that was to Gamrot and Dariush. 2 dudes. One's an incredible wrestler with good hands. The other one has great hands, and we just found out has great wrestling defense. Where Clay Guida is just a busy guy who's going to come forward. So I think Scott gets this done. I'm actually pretty confident in that. I do love Clay. We've picked him many times on this show as an underdog. This is not the spot. And it really just comes down to danger. He's not dangerous. And you want to call Scott chinny? Fine, he's coming off 2 knockouts in a row. But Clay Guida, it doesn't matter if you're chinny. He's not going to do anything with that. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, this was one of those fights where, I mean, it's 2 old guys. I mean, I know you're calling Clay Guida like the old guy of this. It's a 40-year-old versus a 39-year-old. So who the hell knows what's going to end up happening in this fight? Scott at this point in his career, it seems like he doesn't really enjoy pace and pressure. And that's exactly what Clay Guida is. And I think that he can use his pace and pressure to win this fight. But, I mean, it's an old guy versus an old guy, and you never know what's going to happen in those fights. So I'll take the value in the underdog and Guida here, but I don't feel great about it. You know what I mean? So,
you get what I'm saying with the dangerous, though? His only path is
he's not going to come in. I mean, he does throw some wild right hands sometimes, but, maybe he finds if he wears them down so he can find a submission. I mean, there's definitely ways, but I agree with your point 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like Scott. I'm actually very confident in him, but he has been a year away. Things are definitely...
You want to bet this fight?
Me and you?
Yeah.
Even money, $100. I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make it fun.
Done.
Stupid ass.
Yeah, I'm the idiot. You just took even money on an underdog. I'm the idiot. So, all right.
I trust
$100 we got going
it's
with you.
Clay Guida's birthday coming up.
So he's almost 41.
Yeah,
Congrats,
that was kind of a
Jacob.
joke, but it actually is like almost his birthday. That was like a Jesus joke, but it is his birthday, December 8th. So
No, yeah, because I remember when I did the graphics, I was like, do I just add a year? Anyway, so you and I are split on this, but neither one of us, well, you're not super confident. I'm pretty confident, but a little nerve-wracking because he's coming off 2 knockouts in a row a year away, and Clay Guida is going to be Clay Guida. He's going to come forward. He's going to stay busy, and he's coming off the submission loss to Claudio Puelles. It's not like he's getting knocked out left and right either. So anyway, do you like Clay for DraftKings?
hasn't been knocked out since 2017. Do you know who that was? Trivia time.
Who? Nate Diaz.
Joe
No, that was
Lozon.
Joe Lozon. Oh, yeah, he took him down and beat the shit out of him, I think.
Punches and elbows, TKO.
Yeah. Anyway.
And before that, it was RDA in 2010, a jaw injury TKO. So this guy's got to be put away. You know what I mean?
He's a tough guy. And I said Nate Diaz, but he was in an all-time war, I think, with Nick Diaz. One of the best fights ever. One of the Diaz brothers. It was an all-timer.
Nate, I don't see.
It was one of them. What do you think of DraftKings? You like Clay in some underdog spot in DraftKings?
No,
Okay.
there's better underdogs.
I agree. But you're the one betting $100 on it, so okay. Monkey Knife Ice Strike Line is probably a more. I think they go at it. Scott is dangerous, but I think they just start swinging wild. Clay's proven that he'll swing wild. Takedown defense is okay, so Scott can keep it standing and pitter-patter in that defense there. I think it's a more Monkey Knife fight. I imagine you agree.
I actually kind of do like that Monkey Knife fight, to be honest with you.
There you go.
I think you're being you know what, Angela, you're
really starting
a
to put
lot
it
more
together.
a lot more sharp than normal tonight. You said you weren't very confident, but I kind of like your calls right now.
I hate this card. I actually hate this card. We keep bragging about.
You sound sharp.
We keep bragging about how we've given away 38 units of net profit over the last 3 events. I do worry about this card. But 38 units of net profit.
You don't sound as dumb as you are.
Dude, other people are hemorrhaging money these last couple events. And we're thriving. We thrive in the chaos.
I do thrive in the chaos. When you put a bone in my mouth. What? I mean, that's like the dog with the ball. I didn't mean like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, we know what you meant.
Yeah.
WeWantPicks.com/MKF for the Monkey Knife Fight line. More. They will instantly match your deposit. Give them $100. They'll give you 100. Take that free money. I think the more here hits, and you can triple your money if you're right.
So that's clipped. Oh boy.
Next up at UFC Orlando, we have Angela Hill taking on Emily Ducote. Angela Hill 14-12 overall. 2-3 in her last 5, coming off that upset win over Lupi Godinez. Emily Ducote is 12-6 overall, 4-1 in her last 5, coming off an impressive win in her UFC debut. I'm on the Ducote side here. These odds I think they're tightening a bit, but I like Ducote, however you want to pronounce it, to win. She's the former Invicta champion. She stepped up on short notice in her UFC debut. Dominated. She's a slick counter striker. She's got legitimate power in her hands and good wrestling. I think she's durable. I think she's accurate. And she throws super straight punches. Where Angela Hill is a very high fight IQ. Is a tried and true vet. She's got the cardio. She's been in some really good fights. That Amanda Lemos fight, a lot of people think she won that. And that's looking better and better every day. But then she went out there and just got smoked by Verna Jandiroba. Just looked like crap against Verna Jandiroba.
Verna's a very good fighter. I don't know why you're saying it like that. Verna's a very good fighter.
Not good enough that she should be making Angela Hill look like an absolute trash city fighter.
I mean, Verna's a very good fighter.
Well, anyway, I think Angela Hill's a little inconsistent. She's got pillow fists, decent jab, okay footwork, but she can be sloppy. Like, I feel like Angela Hill fights to the level of her competition, and she can end up being sloppy at times. She did beat Lupi, which was very, very impressive, but I think that was just sort of an anomaly and good for her for that. I like Ducote. I think she cruises in this fight. I think her accuracy is going to be on point. I think her wrestling is going to be on point. I think she cruises in this fight, and Angela Hill's the gatekeeper, and I like her, and She's a solid commentator and well-skilled, high fight IQ, but I think she's just going to get outclassed. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not going to be bitter about this. I am done doubting the toughness of Angela Hill because I feel like every time I pick against Angela Hill, she comes in and wins a fight or makes it super close to where I'm biting my nails. I mean, she is tough as shit, and I think that's what comes down to this fight because when I look at Emily Ducote, she is the better fighter, but it's not like she's like a head and shoulders above Angela Hill. I mean, she's a decent boxer. That's about it. She doesn't have like crazy power. She doesn't have like dominant wrestling. And those, shut up. And those are the type of fighters that Angela Hill beats. The people that she can just kind of like, out tough. So, yeah, I like Angela in this matchup to use her toughness and win a decision. But putting money on either side of this is a little bit crazy, probably. I mean, Angela Hill, somebody mentioned Angela Hill plus 3.5. We love those 3.5 bets for underdogs. Do you know what Angela Hill plus 3.5 is?
Yeah, it's not great.
Minus 260.
I would never spend that on her. And the last time I did a plus 3.5 on her, she blew it. The Valdez and Rowe fight. She got smoked.
But I'll take Angela Hill. I'll take her toughness.
Yeah, no. I'm on the other side. Want to bet $100?
No. I just said I'm not stupid to bet this fight.
There's a bunch of fights that are stupid to bet that I guarantee these people are going to be complaining about, like the Tai Tuivasa fight that we'll talk about in a minute. So you and I are
45 minutes.
You and I are, there's a lot of fights. You and I are split
Jesus
here.
Christ.
I'm far more confident than you are, though. Far more, like light years more confident than you are in this fight.
Bless you for it.
But not touching DraftKings. I think it's a bunch of jabs from both of them. Maybe one takedown. So definitely not going to be doing DraftKings here. But the bet that I will consider is Monkey Knife Fight drops those takedown prop bets, and we've been crushing those. Absolutely crushing those.
Not we. You.
Well, I've been crushing those, and
I appreciate you trying to put me in there, but I stay away from that bullshit.
Well, I love it, and if they drop a who's going to get more takedowns, Emily Ducote minus 120, minus 150, I'll hit that. Angela Hill's not shooting a takedown, and if there's no takedowns, it's a push. You get your money back. So there's no risk in that same bet with Ty and Sergey. It might be worth because in all likelihood there's zero. And then you just get your money back. But it's like, hey, listen, there's plus money here. Let me give it a go. But I do think Emily will shoot a takedown. We've seen her shoot takedowns in Invicta where she was the champ. I think she'll get takedowns, but I do think she wins this fight.
Was every single person an Invicta champ?
Every female. Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Thank you.
And LFA as well. Every newly signed male fighter was an LFA champion before they came over. Not touching DraftKings. I am going to see what happens with those takedown prop bets when they drop. Those are that could be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those just kind of drop. If you want to know the bets we place immediately when we place them, become a premium member. WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month to be a premium member. All the bets, all the picks,
How much?
all the things. $10. You know what?
Oh, my God.
For you.
I found $10 on the sidewalk. I live in a very rich neighborhood.
For you, I'll do $2.50 a week. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Anyway, once you create your account, you can link your Discord. Once you link your Discord, you can get alerts to your phone. Oh, they just placed this bet. And then
you know what? Somebody had an alert. Speaking of alerts on the phone, I was at Target today. Again, I have a lot of money. I shop at Target. There was a lady that was shopping.
Or a regular Target?
It's a super Target. There was a lady that had her phone. You know what her tone was? I assume it was a text tone. It was the "You've got mail," and it went over like 3 or 4 times. I was like, "Oh, reminds me of the chat days."
Yeah, that's send pics, PICS. I remember doing that. Obviously, as a creepy, horny little teenager. You get the AOL chat rooms. You just send in pics, but it was always, at least back then, it was always celebrity heads photoshopped, and my favorite one was the mom from Home Improvement. Her head was photoshopped on somebody. And then I didn't know Photoshop. I didn't know it was fake. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. What are you disappointed?
Yeah, guys, I just want to apologize because I try to keep this. I do everything I can to keep this channel professional, on track with the fights. Let's talk about the fights. People are here for the fights. That's all they want: bets, fights, picks. and Angelo just goes off on these. Like,
I was talking about. I literally
tangents.
was talking about picks.
Like literally, just I had no idea where he's going, and I've been trying to reel him back in, but I can't do it anymore, guys, and I apologize.
Man, I miss those days. Picks, and then Jewel with her crooked ass teeth.
No, I do.
That was a good.
I did.
That was a good one too.
Jewel back in the day. She was like that girl next door type of hot. You know, like oh shit, like you could see her,
especially in Indiana.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. Jewel looks like 85% of the girls. You go to a local dive bar, that's 85% of the girls. How you doing?
Yeah, those were the days.
You want to buy me a diesel?
No to DraftKings. I think Emily wins. He think Angela wins. I think more and more a monkey knife fight hits, but those numbers are starting to creep up there, so not going to touch them. What do you think of the monkey knife fight? You agree?
What did you say?
I said I think probably more and more, but I'm not going to touch it. It's too high of a number.
Yeah, I don't know. Chris is too good. Why wouldn't this one 69-69?
Yeah, I think we know why.
Angela Hill is sneaky hot. I will say that.
Not even a little bit.
I think Angela Hill is sneaky hot. I think people in the chat will agree with me. There are times I see Angela Hill and I'm thinking, oh, okay, here we go.
I don't think she's hot at all. Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have Niko, the hybrid price, taking on Philip Rowe. Niko price 15-5 overall, 2-1 in his last 5. Coming back after a year away, he was suspended for a little bit of weed.
Weed! Stay off the weed! I think he said he's done with it, too. He's like refocused, everything.
Could be. Philip Rowe, 9-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. All 4 of those wins are by stoppage. This should be a really interesting fight because Niko Price is wild. Everybody knows he's wild. That dude does not care. He will go out there, swing crazy, do crazy stuff, and just have fun trying to win fights. He can wrestle, but he doesn't use it that much. He swings. He's got good power. He has 2 knockouts off his back. 2. The dude's crazy. Ton of fun. Has knockout power. Can get submissions. But he also gets knocked out, right? That's what makes him so fun. He'll come out there, do crazy stuff at the risk of his health, and sometimes it doesn't pay off. Philip Rowe, 9-3. So not a ton of experience. If we're comparing these two guys, Philip Rowe definitely has more MMA experience. Niko definitely has more MMA experience than Phil. But Phil is a solid striker. He's long. He's got good volume. He does a great job using that length, using that range. And his power is impressive. His ground game is not impressive at all. He's going to get smoked by any decent wrestler. Actually, his jiu-jitsu is good. But his wrestling is just absolute trash city. He's going to get beat by any decent wrestler that has a chin. That's about what was going to happen to him in his last fight. Jason Witt taking him down over and over and over, controlling him. But then he got his hands going, found that power, knocked him out. Niko Price is not that guy. He can be that guy. He can just shoot a bunch of takedowns, win this fight. But I don't see him doing that. I think he's going to come out there, try to have fun. He's fighting in Orlando. He'll have a big crowd there watching him, and he's going to fall into his old habits. And if he's going to go strike for strike, swing for swing, I think Philip Rowe gets it done, wins this fight. I like Philip Rowe to win. I like him in the underdog spot. He's just proven over and over again that he can get these finishes. So Philip Rowe's the pick. And the last thing I'll mention before I hand it over is Niko Price lives in Cape Coral. They were smacked by that hurricane. My mom lives there. My brother lives there. They're still dealing with it. Oh, my God.
Here we go. A little sob story.
No, I'm like, they're still dealing with it. This dude has kids, a wife. I have no idea how bad off his house was or wasn't. Who knows where he's, if he's training, how focused he is, isn't. All of those things combined, a year away, I like Philip Rowe even more. What do you think?
I broke down this fight. And I like Niko, right? I think there's no one that dislikes Niko. Like you said, he's a fun dude. I've never seen the wildest thing I ever saw was Niko in that Cowboy Cerrone fight when it was like a draw, and he was like the most excited person in the world. Cowboy Cerrone's looking at him like, "What the fuck? What are you doing right now?" He's like, "Woohoo!" Like I just had a draw, like he just won a title, which was crazy. But yeah, the weed thing. Apparently, he has stopped it all. refocus. He showed off some wrestling in his last fight, but what I was alluding to is I broke down this fight, as I do every Sunday on my Twitter. I break it down, and then I look at the odds. I could not believe, and listen to what I'm saying here, people. I could not believe that Philip Rowe was the underdog in this fight, and I just have to assume that people are doing 1 + 1 = 2, and that is Philip Rowe can get taken down. Niko has been taking people down, so 1 + 1 = a Niko victory. That's not what's going to happen in this fight. Niko, even if he gets hit, takes him down. Philip Rowe, as you mentioned, jiu-jitsu very good. If you listen to what Philip Rowe says, he says, you know what? I'm a slow starter. First round, I just can't get into fights. I get taken down, but I know how to stay safe, right? I know how to stay safe. I know what I'm doing down there. I know there is no threat when somebody is on top of me. Can he lose rounds like that? Yeah, he loses rounds like that. But once he gets going, you see what he does with his hands. He is an absolute sniper. And if there's one thing that happens with Niko is he gets hit. He is tough because he gets hit. He gets in these firefights. And if he gets hit against a guy like Phil Rowe, he is going to get put the fuck out. So, yes, this could be Niko coming in, wrestling. It looks good, right? Wrestle. And then all of a sudden, it's Philip Rowe doing what he does. The second round starts on the feet. Boop, boop. Right hand, boom, lights out. I love Phil Rowe in this matchup. And even on the ground, maybe he starts throwing, some scrambles, uses jiu-jitsu because he is pretty well-versed. But I can't believe that Philip Rowe is the underdog. And I know the odds flip back and forth. I think Niko was the favorite, and then Philip Rowe was the favorite for a little bit. Now Niko's the favorite again. So I am Philip Rowe all the way in this matchup.
I mean, I agree. My eyes just really got dry on me. I agree, obviously. I mean, Niko's the more well-rounded fighter here. Absolutely 100% the more well-rounded fighter.
I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, he's got power. He can strike. He can wrestle. He can grapple. He can do all the things. The problem is he doesn't. He just ends up in a slugfest, has a ton of fun. And frankly, good for him, right? Because he's getting paid bonuses. We all know his name. It is the entertainment business, and he recognizes that aspect of it, and he'll have a job for a while because of that. But you and I both on the Philip Rowe side, $7,800, like him in DraftKings as well as an underdog because he likely will win by stoppage with his range, with the power he's able to find, and with Niko's reckless abandon. You agree?
Yeah, we'll just say Niko. I want to listen to what you're saying, but Niko has been put out 3 of his last 4 fights. Not fights, but losses. 3 of his last 4 losses he's been put out. And that's not a good stat against a guy like Phil Rowe.
Sure. No, I completely agree. Monkey Knife Ice Strike Line, this is one that I am not going to touch. But listen, Niko may have just seen that wit fight and be like, hey, I could just shoot 1,000,000 takedowns and do that. But hometown crowd, essentially. It's about 3 hours north of where he lives. But he'll have a bunch of people there rooting for him. And it's hard to be boring in that situation. It is hard to just shoot takedowns and be boring. He's going to get in a slugfest, and it may not go his way.
Slug fights, I bet those are exciting. Those are more exciting than Rose and Carla. A little slug fight.
Did you put salt on slugs?
Sometimes. No, I don't. No, PETA.
Never.
PETA. Hey.
Do you never put salt on slugs? What a loser,
hey.
Man.
I was going to say slug fights sometimes are my Friday nights as well.
Just rub it. Anyway, no salt, huh?
I don't even know what you're talking about. PETA, I'm not getting canceled. Sorry.
You genuinely don't know what I'm talking about?
PETA.
Okay. PETA. They're probably more concerned about where your dog is and what your dog's doing than putting some salt on some slugs. Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have Eryk Anders taking on Kyle Daukaus. Eryk Anders, 14-7 overall, 1-3-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off that controversial loss to Jun Young Park. Kyle Daukaus, 11-3 overall, 2-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off that bad KO loss to Roman Dolidze. This main card, I'm liking the underdogs. I like Eryk Anders here, and he's a big guy. He hits hard. He can wrestle. He does keep his hands a little low, which is a problem, but I don't think it's a problem against Kyle freaking Daukaus. And I might just dislike Kyle Daukaus more than most, but Other than snatching up a random submission, he's the one of the most least dangerous guys at middleweight. He's got like technical boxing, okay takedowns from the clinch, but Eryk Anders is an athlete. This dude is a legitimate athlete with power in his hands, the ability to take people down. I'd like to trust his jiu-jitsu. And in the last fight, I think a lot of us think he got robbed, so I think Eryk Anders gets it done. I think I might have had a small little money line bet on him, like a half a unit. I'll have to check. If you're a premium member, if I have it, you'll see it there. You're making this face like Kyle Daukaus isn't a jiu-jitsu nerd, and you're the most anti-jiu-jitsu nerd of anybody I know. If Kyle Daukaus was an underdog in this fight, you would be like, I can't pick him for lock of the week because no more jiu-jitsu nerds. But he's the favorite, and you're like, he's going to dominate. What a fuck. Don't let the odds bully you into going against your gut. Tell me why this skinny, pale, see-through dork is going to win this fight against the man on the left. Go ahead. Tell me why. Tell me why.
My first concert ever was Backstreet Boys. I will tell you exactly what's gonna happen. When you watch that Anders fight versus the Turtle, right? And I don't want to mean, you know, I've been in some Twitter spats with some fighters in the past, and I don't know if Eryk Anders is gonna watch this. I mean, no disrespect, Mr. Anders, when I say what I'm about to say. But in that fight, to me, he looked slow motion. He looked like he got tired after 3 or 4 minutes of these takedown attempts. And on almost every single takedown defense, the Turtle snatched up this dude's neck. And I assume his game plan is going to be a little bit different, knowing the jiu-jitsu prowess of a Daukaus. But if he comes in with those sloppy takedowns, those sloppy, slow entries, Daukaus is known for he is known as the Darce Knight. He loves front chokes, guillotines, Darces, anacondas, whatever it is.
Speaking of jiu-jitsu nerd, that's the nerdiest jiu-jitsu name of all time.
The Darce Knight. Yeah, you didn't know that was his nickname?
That's top 5. No, I did not. That's so
I didn't make that up. His name is the Darce Knight.
God.
And for a reason. If Eryk Anders comes in with those sloppy takedowns, the neck is going to be there for the takedown. And even if he gets a takedown, which I think there might be situations where Kyle's pulling guillotine, he ends up on top. Kyle can sweep from the bottom and end up on top. He is not like a normal just pull guard looking for arm bars jiu-jitsu nerd. He will sweep to get advantageous positions. He did that against Phil Hawes. Phil Hawes took him down. Phil Hawes came in that fight and said, I want to show you I'm the better grappler. Took him down. Guess what happened? Daukaus swept him and ended up in full mount in the first round of that fight when Phil Hawes was still fresh. So even if Anders can get a takedown in this fight, he can easily get swept, and all of a sudden he is now being controlled by the Darce Knight in this fight. So I think Eryk Anders, he does have the power advantage, but his power seems slow to me. I got to imagine it's not like the Roman Dolidze very fast. He looks slow motion, quicksand, whatever it is to me. So yes, he has power. I don't think the power is going to be there. If he tries to wrestle, I see him getting submitted fairly easily by the Darce Knight. So yes, I do hate these jiu-jitsu nerds, but Kyle Daukaus is a guy that will sweep from the bottom to end up on top, and that is where I like my jiu-jitsu nerds, on top. So I love Kyle Daukaus in this matchup. I think if Kyle Daukaus loses this fight, I think he should be cut from the UFC because this is a perfect matchup for him. Somebody that's not super fast with his hands and wants to wrestle and is sloppy when he wrestles. I love Kyle Daukaus in this matchup, and I'm willing to look stupid, but I think he finds a sub, and I think he finds it early.
I might just be blinded by hate. I don't even know what my issue is with him. He seems like a nice enough guy. The style drives me nuts. That like unathletic, just desperate to grapple style just drives me nuts. He does have technical boxing. He has worked, and his brother is such a good striker. That's why it makes no sense. But whatever. Right. You and I are very split here. Very split. Very split.
Well, one of us is right, and one of us is just fat and stupid. That was me. I do apologize. That was a little much. That was a little much.
Incredibly rude. I like Eryk Anders at $7,100 in DraftKings. I'm gonna go throw up my dinner. Really work on myself. What do you think?
That's gonna be a long look in the mirror tonight. A long look in the mirror tonight.
What do you think of DraftKings?
That could have been your wake-up call.
I don't need a wake-up call. We'll take a picture you and I standing next to each other.
With the voice crack.
We'll take a picture of us.
Need a wake-up call.
It must have been my internet. We'll take a picture of you and I standing next to each other, and we'll see who needs a little bit of a
shirtless
check.
Shirtless?
Okay. Fine with me.
Okay. Fine with me.
Done.
We'll do a little double buy.
No, done. This July, shirtless.
This July. Little Doug Heffernan situation.
What do you think of DraftKings?
I like Daukaus. I think he can get sweeps even if he gets taken down. That's 5 points for sweeps, and I think he finds
$9,100 on this dude. This is like the meme where they're like, good luck telling non-UFC fans that the guy on the right beats the guy on the left. This is what that is. Look at this.
I mean, Kyle Daukaus has a sweet tattoo on that forearm. I don't know if you see that poking through. That's a tough dude. You put a T-shirt on that guy, and he's a tough dude.
That's just more jiu-jitsu nerd nonsense. That's
maybe
really
like maybe not a T-shirt, maybe like a 3/4 sleeve, and then he's a tough dude. And maybe like a ski mask. Yeah. Then he's a tough dude. Dude.
And whatever shoulder surgery is needed to fix whatever's going on there.
He's got pointy shoulders, man. I mean, imagine he starts getting in the shoulder strikes.
He might have that same elbow camel toe that you have going on. Just skin and then bones. Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have late replacement Roman Dolidze taking on Jack Hermanson. Roman Dolidze stepping up on a week's notice. 2 weeks notice? Week and a half? Something like that. He's 11-1 overall. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that incredible win over Phil Hawes. And honestly, the 11-1 is a little misleading. He's an undefeated fighter. That was a bad decision against Trevin Giles. He's taking on Jack Hermanson, 23-7 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he's alternating wins and losses. Listen, I think Roman Dolidze wins this fight. I have doubted him in the past. I've picked him to win in underdog spots, and I'm like sort of all over the place with Roman. But he lately has been putting it together. He's hitting harder than ever. And it's not even the striking that's doing it for me in this fight. We got to see his jiu-jitsu. It's the chest hair.
It is the chest hair. I don't like chest hair. I would gladly fall asleep. Listen, Cheyenne, I get
shirts would only be buttoned to here.
Cheyenne, I get it. I think I said this before in his last breakdown. Could you imagine laying next to a fire on a bear rug, laying on his chest, how soft that would be? And just when he talks, just the rumbling of his, hey, I'm Roman Dolidze. Do you want to order that pizza? I mean, that's my dream night. I mean,
he does have a man voice too.
Oh, I am Roman Dolidze.
Everything about him. He's all man.
He's not like, I'm JP Buys. I am Roman Dolidze.
I'm JP Buys.
I'm JP Buys.
That poor guy. You made him your lock of the week. Who's the idiot?
Huh?
Yeah.
I also made Trevin Giles against Roman my lock of the week and hit that shit. So
you knew for a fact that was a bad decision. You were sweating that one. That was early too. Anyway, the reason I'm going Roman here, a lot of people, Roman's power. Yes, he has power. But to me, the reason I love Roman here is what he just did to Phil Hawes was the grappling. He got taken down and it instantly started working. Instantly. Wild elbows, threw up that knee bar, blew his knee out. And he is a world champion.
You just got done saying that you hate jiu-jitsu nerds, and what he did was like the most jiu-jitsu nerd thing ever. He was going for heel hooks and stuff. That was the Ryan Hall special.
Dude, are you kidding me? First of all, the first thing he did was elbow the shit out of Phil Hawes' face, and it wasn't until Phil Hawes stood up that he grabbed the knee and then blew it out. And then you're going to call Roman Dolidze a jiu-jitsu nerd?
And then he was like,
what an absurd thing to say. What an absurd.
And then he showed off like he actually is like a super sweet dude. First of all, he sends Cheyenne flowers every single day. What a guy! What a guy! I would do that for like the first week. Yeah, like literally every single day she's posting flowers again. When she's like on the other side of the world, he's doing that. Anyway, he also showed how great a guy he is because Phil Hawes didn't tap. The ref didn't stop it. He felt the knee pop and he was like, "Oh my god! Like I'm so sorry."
Of course.
And the ref's like, "What are you doing?" And he blew that bet for me, that son of a bitch, because I had a sub bet for Roman in that fight.
Well, I mean, I like Roman. The jiu-jitsu is giving me hope here because that's Jack's. Here, Jack Hermanson just outstruck Chris Curtis. I get it. We all saw it. That is the only fight he has ever outstruck anybody. He has 30 professional fights. He outstruck an undersized, short-notice man one time. And now everybody thinks Jack Hermanson is the jab king. And Jack Hermanson is this phenomenal striker. And I think that's absurd. He's not. He's been outstruck many, many times. I think maybe he'll have the more straightforward technique in the striking, but
is that how you throw jabs? Is that how you strike, Angelo?
That was me literally being like, I'm a robot, Jack Hermanson, robot striking. That's what that is. So I think anybody looking at Jack Hermanson's last fight and thinking he's going to do that to Roman Dolidze is out of their mind. Chris Curtis looked like an idiot in that fight. He was gun shy. It was like he was only worried about defending takedowns. And Jack went 0 for 6 in takedowns. Roman Dolidze, world champion grappler. Jack Hermanson, pretty good grappler. Roman's better. Jack Hermanson, technical robotic striking. Roman Dolidze, power for days. I'll take Roman. Roman off his back, dangerous. Jack off his back.
Jack off his back. Oh my God. Jack me off. Oh, fuck.
All right, well, you go. I think Roman wins this fight, and those are the reasons why.
Listen, I think that Roman is definitely the better value. If you're going to put money on this fight, don't put money on Jack. I mean, I would not put money on Jack no matter how much he goes off in this fight. You know, Jack off. But I will say that Roman is probably a little bit overrated in most people's eyes. And by that I mean a lot of people think that he's like this powerful knockout artist, and that's what he does. He blitzes forward, he throws the big right hands, and he's just knocking everyone out. Roman can be very, very boring. A very, very boring fighter. Against Trevin, there's a reason why he lost the decision, because he didn't do enough against a guy like Trevin, who doesn't do much anyway. Against Staropoli, he won that decision by basically hugging Staropoli. He didn't even take him down. It was hugging him against the fence for 15 minutes. Roman can be very, very boring. So the fact that people think that he's going to come in and throw these big right hands and blitz, it can happen. It might happen, but I wouldn't bank on it. That's why my money was like more on like the plus 3.5. Become a premium to see what I actually did for this fight. But my pick is going to be Jack. But somebody in the Discord made a very, very good point. The reason I'm picking Jack is what Angelo said. The Chris Curtis fight. He stayed out of danger.
I said
the Chris
you
Curtis
shouldn't
fight.
Pick Jack.
I know. And that's what I'm going to make your point on this next one. Don't fucking interrupt me again. Jack, in that fight, stayed safe. But somebody in the Discord made a good point. Chris Curtis did not take any chances, right? He was not trying to cut off the cage. He was just plotting, following. And Roman is not a guy that's going to do that, right? Roman will take chances. He will blitz in with his strikes, with his grappling. So there is that caveat to that. The reason I'm picking Jack is because I think he can stay safe against Roman. Roman can be boring. He can withstand the takedowns of Roman, because I know that Roman is a good grappler, but he's not the best wrestler, because even, like I said, Staropoli was on his hips, couldn't get takedowns, blah, blah, blah. So my pick is for Jack. This is one of those things. Listen very closely. My pick is Jack. Do not bet Jack. I'm not going to put money on Jack, but he's my pick. The value is in Roman. I just think that he's a little bit overrated in the striking, and Jack should have the tools to withstand it. But the value is definitely in Roman, so I get the underdog pick.
I hear you. I like Roman. And like I said, I'm not in that the strike camp. Ooh, he's so powerful. Yeah, of course he's powerful. It was the grappling in the last fight that really pushed me over the edge here. That was the first time we've seen world champion level grappling. He was taken down by a national champion wrestler with a beautiful duck under, and he was instantly dangerous. Like the second they hit the mat, Roman Dolidze was a problem. And that's why I was like, this is great. I'm going Roman against Jack. What do you want?
No, to that point, because that's instinct, all right? He's been grappling his whole life, so when he went into that, it's instincts immediately. When people are chasing KO bets against with jiu-jitsu people, I get a little bit scared because their instincts kick in. The reason I say that is because Brendan Allen, when he hurts people, he submits them because he gets them hurt, and then his instincts come in, he grabs next, he does this. So even if Roman hurts Jack, it might not be a KO situation. His instincts could kick in, and he goes for subs after that. So the KO bet is a little bit I get it, but
there's no reason that Roman Dolidze is plus money right now. There is no reason to do anything stupid with the bet. Like, what are you chasing? Like, he's plus money. Just money line him, and that's it.
I would never chase stuff like that. You know, I'm always very.
There's no reason to take a plus money fighter, especially plus 155, and then try to get plus 180. Why would you? Don't do that. Why would you do that? Keep your plus 155 with every possible winning outcome. That's what you do. Somebody asked how you get the plus 3.5 bet. That is a Bet Online exclusive. They are the only sportsbook on planet Earth that offers that. And basically, if you're buying a round on the judge's scorecard, all Roman needs to do is win one round. That's it. Win the first round when he's fresh, then just lose a decision, and he'll win that bet. So I have a money line on Roman. The plus 3.5, that's a safety net bet. That's a bet where, great, you know, it'll flip from plus 155 to minus 150, whatever it was. That's worth it. That's a good bet. That's worth it because short notice doesn't matter. Just win one round, don't get finished, and you're good. BetOnline is the only company that offers that. If you sign up for BetOnline using our links at WeWantPicks.com/bets, we'll send you $50 as a thank you, just affiliate marketing 101. They pay us. We'll share some of that money with you as a thank you. WeWantPicks.com/bets. We don't have DraftKings pricing for this yet.
Do we not?
We already... Nope, it's not out yet. I guess we'll see. I like Roman, but, you know, I'd love to get him with a 7 in front of him, but that's probably not going to happen. And Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line, 48 to 64. What do you think of that?
I think it's one more.
Okay. I feel like I got to sneeze. Do I have to sneeze?
Did that make you
here
sneeze?
It comes.
Buy a round on Sal Diamato's card. That's pretty funny.
He just gives those things away. WeOwnPicks.com. Become a premium member.
Florida judges. Yeah, this could be a little bit weird card. They do have MMA there, but...
No, they do have some weird... Well, it's not as bad as Texas with those cards. Anyway, WeOwnPicks.com. Become a premium member. It is only $10 a month, and you'll see all the bets we placed the very second we placed them, and we've been crushing lately. Next up at UFC Orlando, we have maybe one of the more exciting fights on the card, one of the most talked about fights on the card. We got Tai Tuivasa taking on Sergey Pavlovich. Tai Tuivasa 15-4 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the loss to Cyril Gane. Sergey Pavlovich 16-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a nice 4-fight win streak. Listen, Tai Tuivasa is every single person's favorite underdog this week. Everybody likes Tai Tuivasa to win, and that is what concerns me, especially when the line doesn't move. So people are loving, what is that?
Oh, she's got her leg up in the air looking like that. I mean, look at that.
Who is that?
What do you mean, who is that?
Okay. Anyway, Tai Tuivasa, I have not seen a single person pick Sergey Pavlovich yet. Tai Tuivasa is still plus 170. So it means a lot of people are not actually spending their money, or, it's just popular to pick him because he's an underdog. Here's my take on this fight, Jakey boy. I do think... What?
Sorry, someone said, wow, Tai has shockingly small nipples for a man his size.
Jesus Christ.
They both kind of have small nipples, huh? How big are your nipples?
I think... I do think Tai's going to win. I'm on the Tai side here. But I will tell you right now, there is zero reason anybody should bet this fight. Do not bet on this fight. This is a 50-50 fight. If you want to say, oh, it's a 50-50 fight and I can get plus 170 on Tai, that's the one and only thing I'll even listen to, but it is a 50-50 fight with two guys are going to throw hands. Tai Tuivasa has an incredible chin. We've seen some cracks recently. Sergey Pavlovich, he's got one fight in the last couple of years, and it was against Derek Lewis, who folded immediately. We don't know what he's going to look like in a firefight. So Tai Tuivasa is the pick because I think he's the more well-rounded striker. He's fast, he's got leg kicks, and a great chin. But this fight is a 50-50. If you want to do a little bit of a money line on Tai Tuivasa because you can basically triple your money if it hits, I'll hear you. But if your dumbass parlays Tai Tuivasa or Sergey Pavlovich, these two should not be in a parlay. And I saw somebody post on the Discord like a 10-fight parlay, and Tai Tuivasa was one of the legs. And it makes no sense to me. Why in God's name would you throw him in a parlay in a 50-50 heavyweight fight? That is stupid. Don't do it. Jacob Boy, what do you think of this fight?
Are we gambling or are we gambling? I put money on Tai. First round, I mean, you can't get these odds anymore. That's why you got to be. I mean, you got to become a premium member. You would have got these very, very easily. First round KO, I got Tai plus 600. Second round KO, I got Tai plus 1,000. And the reason I love Tai in this matchup is because Sergey has not fought anyone. Go up and down the people he has fought. Look at everyone he has fought. He has not fought somebody with the hand, speed, and athleticism that Tai is going to bring. Tai is a very, very good athlete. You mentioned the leg kicks, but his hand speed and the way that he counter boxes, even when he gets hit, is incredible, and his chin is fantastic. I know he's gotten staggered a couple times, but even when he gets staggered, he still throws back. He doesn't just shell up and quit. That is when he is at his most dangerous, and even against Gane, he went 3 rounds, was getting teed off. It was body shots that basically broke him down. If Sergey comes in and thinks he's going to walk down Tai and headhunt and just knock this dude out, Tai is going to beat him to the punch and land on the button much faster than Sergey can hit Tai because he has the speed advantage and has just as much power in Sergey. I ain't playing the Tai side. I actually love him in this matchup. To me, this feels like, and I mentioned it to you and I mentioned some other people, but it feels like Li Jingliang versus Muslim, where Muslim came in as like the knockout Russian artist, but he's a little bit slow, and Lee came in as like the athlete, throwing feints out there, was slipping punches, and eventually found the big shot. I think the exact same thing happens here, where Sergey's like, oh my God, this guy's much faster than I expected, gets a little bit frustrated, gets a little overzealous, and Tai finds that knockout shot. You know, the under 1.5, I guess, is like what people, I think this fight can go on a little bit more. Tai can be very patient as well. I don't think it's going to go to a decision, but I mean, I got plus 600 and plus 1,000 for Tai getting a finish. I love those odds.
Listen, there's arguments to be made about putting a little money on Tai because these odds are crazy. These odds don't make sense to me. This is a 50-50 fight. I don't know how Tai coming
off a loss, but dropped and looked good multiple times against the best striker in the division. And it was a 3-round loss. I know he got finished, but Jesus, I mean, this is super disrespectful for Tai.
But like you said, he got finished with body shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said, he got finished with body shots. Nobody else in the heavyweight division is throwing body shots.
No, so not that, front,
the odds of that
front
happening
kicks to
again.
the belly button, yeah.
So, we're on the Tai side. Tai's that's the only thing I'll listen to if you want to throw a money line or some crazy prop with some crazy odds. Should be small money. This is a 50-50 fight. So if you want to say it's 50-50, I can triple my money, 10 times my money, whatever it is on this guy. Okay. No bets should be on Sergey Pavlovich. Literally none of them. And this is not a DraftKings fight. Neither one of these guys should be in your DraftKings. Because one of them is going to score a ton of points. I get it. But we don't necessarily know which one. And I wouldn't waste a slot in a cash game DraftKings entry on one of these guys. Multi-entry, sure. You have to mess around. One of them might be an optimal, but you only have 6 slots in a cash game. I'm not going to waste that on Tai, even though I think he wins. What do you think?
I was just going to say, I was looking at the odds here, and Sergey first round KO TKO is plus 190, which is like the lowest odds on the card. Tai has never been put out in the first round. Never been put out in the first round.
Yeah. I mean, and he's fought some powerful strikers, and it didn't matter. So this is not the first heavy-handed guy that Tai Tuivasa is ever fighting. So it is bizarre to me that he's a plus 170 underdog in what should be a 50-50 fight.
His losses are Junior Dos Santos, okay? A decision versus Bologna, who is a capable striker. Got submitted by Sergey Spivak, who is just beating the shit out of everyone. That was in 2019. And then Cyril Gane.
Listen, I hear you. You don't have to tell me. It's just what's bizarre is he's a plus 170 underdog and that he remains that when everybody is picking him to win. Everybody. I think people are just seeing TKO.
It's plus 185 now.
It's getting worse. It's crazy. I think people are just seeing TKO on paper and not remembering that it was body shots.
It ended up being a headshot, but he was broken down by body shots.
But it was, so anyway, we're both on the tie side. I'm stay away from DraftKings. It's 50-50 fight, too much going on. I don't want to necessarily waste a slot on that. Monkey Knife Fight strike line, I think it's more and more. Frankly, it's every single strike counts. I agree with Jacob. I think this could go over 1.5. I did not bet that because it is still heavyweights. But
plus 185 if you want a flyer. That's probably a little bit of a flyer, but it's plus 185.
Over 1.5. Yeah, I mean, they're going to go at it.
It's heavyweights. I would trust that.
So, but, 24 strikes, that's not that many. Especially Ty's got leg kicks. He's got leg kicks. So I think the more and more Monkey Knife Fight gets it done. But the real money here, is Monkey Knife Fight Knockout Kings. You can pick any 3 fighters on the entire card. If one of them wins by KO or TKO, you get paid. If 2 of them wins, you get paid even more, and you can double up fights. Throw both of these people in your Monkey Knife Fight Knockout Kings, and you will get paid. One of these guys is getting knocked out. One of them. We don't know which one. That's the problem. But one of them will. They should be in your Knockout Kings entry. WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will immediately match your deposit instantly. Give them $100. They'll give you 100. Put all 100 on a Monkey Knife Fight entry, Monkey Knife Fight Knockout Kings entry with these 2 guys, and then pick whoever the hell you want in your third, and it doesn't matter who, because you're going to win. WeWantPicks.com/MKF. Next up at UFC Orlando, we have the featured fight of the evening. We got Mateusz Nicolau taking on Matt Schnell. Mateusz Nicolau, 18-2 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, and he's riding a 5-fight win streak. Matt Schnell, 16-7 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, coming off an insane come-from-behind victory where he was dead. They had the morgue called. They had the PR people. This man is dead. This is going to be a PR nightmare. And he sat up like The Undertaker stood up and then just snatched that fight and won that fight. Matt Schnell basically just proved how incredibly tough he is. He's typically a counter striker. He's got solid BJJ. He does an amazing job of basically baiting you in and then attacking forward, leg kicking, baiting you in, attacking, doing all of that. But he was getting smoked in that fight against Sudamerji before he rose from the dead. Sudamerji basically just killed himself trying to put Matt out. Didn't put him out, blew it all, and then Matt Schnell got it done. Again, incredibly tough. You can't just pick a guy because he's tough, though. Mateusz Nicolau is the much better striker. Even though his striking can be a little robotic at times, he's the better striker, much better grappler, light years ahead, at least as far as the takedowns in wrestling are concerned. He's got 9 takedowns in 6 UFC fights, and when he gets you to the ground, he's going to control you, and he's going to work towards a submission instead of just chasing something. And he's coming off that win over David Dvorak, who's very good, and he showcased his power there. So Mateusz Nicolau is absolutely the pick. Matt Schnell showed us how tough he is, what he can do, even in precarious situations. But I'm not picking a fighter because he can take a really bad beating, because I think Mateusz Nicolau is probably going to give him a bad beating. What do you think?
Yeah, this is an I0 basically nailed it in the chat. We love I0. Beautiful man. Discord mod. Yeah, now YouTube mod. But this is a bad matchup for Matt Schnell, because as you alluded to, the toughness, that's what's going to get him in trouble in this fight, because Nicolau is so technical, man. I mean, that guy is so, and I know a lot of people hate him because he has been boring in the past in his fights. He kind of waits. But once he goes, that guy, his hand speed, it's almost like, he looks like Garbrandt hand speed at the 125. I mean, he is very, very, very fast, and that's not even his best part. As you mentioned, his grappling is the best part of what he does. So I've been very, very high on Nicolau throughout his career. Very, very high on his girlfriend as well, Luana, who blew out her knee, but she is she is a savage as well, and I can't wait to see her get back. That is one relationship I respect 100%. I will never mess with Luana. Even, if she starts messaging me, which I wouldn't be surprised she does, hey, you got a good man here in Nicolau. I love this dude. I think he is a future champion. That's how good he is. The only thing I will say, I know that I just got done saying that his best part is his grappling. I think that's Schnell's kind of only path to victory. I don't think he's going to knock out Nicolau because I don't think he's got the hand
submissions
speed.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think these small guys in a scramble, something he almost did the same thing to Royval, right? He almost submitted Royval, and Royval is another dangerous dude. I don't see it happening, but I think his only path to victory is a weird scramble and something weird happens in a scramble. But so if you want to play like a little dabble, Schnell submission, let me look what it is real quick to see. Plus 1,400. I mean, even that's not great value against somebody like Nicolau, but that's the only path to victory I see for him. But I love Nicolau. I think he dominates and finds a finish in this matchup.
Yeah, we're both on the same page here. I'm very confident as well. Obviously, Matt Shell proved that he's never out, which could be concerning, like you said. But for sure, Mateusz Nicolau's the pick on both of our sides. $9,400. Do you like that in DraftKings?
Somebody's like, is this live chat working? Is this... It actually says, is this love chat working? And it is kind of a love chat. Yeah, I like 9,400. Yeah, because even if he doesn't get a finish, I think he's getting takedowns. I think he's getting enough done. Maybe a knockdown or two. So,
I mean, I agree with you. He's probably worth that money. There's a few heavy favorites that are probably worth the money. I think it's the takedowns that do it, though, because I don't think he's necessarily going to put out Matt Schnell. He could, but we didn't really see any of his power until his last fight. That's the first time we really saw power. So it's hard to just say, oh, he's a powerful striker. He can get it done whenever he wants. But for sure, Mateusz Nicolau for both of us, $9,400, probably worth it. Monkey Knife Fight strike line 76 to 54. Matt Schnell's proven to be a really tough guy. He comes forward with combos, throws leg kicks. Probably a more situation. What do you think?
Yeah, Matt Schnell, I guess, like, I know I'm kind of like talking about both sides of my mouth right now, but like finding something weird and winning this fight wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world because he is so tough. But yeah, I think it's a more.
Yeah, so you want to check that out? WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They'll instantly match your deposit. But what I recommend you do is become a premium member at WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. That's $2.50 a week. And we have given you 38 units of net profit over the last 3 events. This is event number 4. We're going to hope to keep that train going. We have bets up now, picks up now, an optimizer, fantasy plays, and all sorts of exclusive content only for premium members.
I just placed one. I just placed a bet right now for Nicolau, and I'll put it in premium. You can check it out.
All right. Well, I love when you do the
little
teasers.
tease there. Little tease there. Did you feel that little tingle?
I did.
Oh boy.
Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have Rafael dos Anjos taking on Brian Barberena. Rafael dos Anjos, 31-14 overall. 2-3 in his last 5, and he is coming off that loss to Rafael Fiziev. Brian Barberena is 18-8 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, riding his longest ever UFC win streak. And this is I don't want to say a tricky fight, because I do think Rafael dos Anjos should dominate here. He should come forward. He has good technicals. What?
You said Rafael dos Anjos.
No, I did not. Maybe my internet
slurred.
cut out. RDA should dominate this fight. He should come forward. I think he actually will be the better striker, technically speaking. He's definitely going to be the better wrestler, definitely going to be the better grappler. And I think he can come forward and just do what he does, grind people down, wear them out. It's 3 rounds. And I think he should be able to avoid any danger, because Brian Barberena, up until his last fight, we didn't really see that one-punch knockout power. Right? He was a really fun volume striker that would come forward.
Well, we didn't really see it last fight either.
Didn't he just knock out? What are you talking about?
I mean, that was all that was like a TKO volume knockup.
I get it, but like, it.
I mean, he literally was
like, yes, it wasn't.
He's just nonstop.
It wasn't.
He's like me. He's like me in the bedroom.
I don't know if it's my internet or yours, but you are completely pixelated.
Well, it's definitely not mine, and I can guarantee you everyone will confirm that.
Okay, well, if Jacob's pixelated, let us know in the live chat. Anyway, RDA is older. He's a little worn out. He's just been plagued with injuries over the years, which is part of the problem. And he's coming off that loss to Rafael Fiziev, where he was basically brutalized. But he did get 6 minutes of control time and 2 takedowns. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but nobody was really taking Fiziev down. It was very hard to take him down. RDA managed to do it and did it well. So I do think RDA is going to win this fight. I think he'll get the takedowns. Bryan Barberena is a good striker, volume striker, has some power. RDA is coming off a knockout, a little older, but I trust him. I don't trust him at minus 550, but I trust him. The odds are definitely disrespectful. They're definitely really wide. I think he'll get the takedowns, and I think he'll get it done. And you can see here, Bryan Barberena's takedown defense is only 55%. And RDA is just going to be diving and shooting. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the odds are insane. I have no idea. And that's the biggest talk of everyone in the Discord. Join the Discord. It's completely free. Everyone's talking about, I cannot believe. And they keep it more and more wide as well. If I was putting odds on this, I'd put RDA at like minus 175, minus 200, and maybe let them balloon up to like minus 250 or something. I understand the path to victory. I'm sure that's why the odds are, because Bryan can't get taken down. Taken down 12 times by Colby, 8 times by Jason Witt, three times by Leon Edwards. That's the path to victory, and that should be what happens in this fight. RDA just takes him down and does what he does. But if he tries to fight, stand out, he should be the better striker. But that volume that Bryan can lay on people can wear people down. So I did put a little sprinkle because I don't think RDA is going to find a finish inside the distance. Decisional action for Bryan. There's a little free bet there. I think I like the odds on that because I think it's probably a decision. I'll probably get my money. I fully expected my money back. But if Bryan, for some reason, is able to withstand some takedowns, or RDA doesn't want to shoot takedowns, this turns into a brawl. I think it turns into a 50-50 fight with Bryan's volume. So the odds are crazy. I do have RDA in a parlay, but I sprinkle a little hedge for my man Bryan. Former lock of the week,
I think we're both aligned here. RDA should win. He's the better overall fighter, the more experienced fighter, the easier, cleaner path to victory. But minus 550, he shouldn't win that much. Shouldn't win like that. That's assuming he's going to come in here and just murder Bryan Barberena.
Just smoke him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a finish. I think it's a decision. So
yeah, I think it's a decision. Fine. Yeah, and that's like, and I guess, yeah. I don't know. It seems crazy. I can't justify it.
I have an interesting bet as well that'll be available for premium members and premium members only. We want picks.
Is it in premium right now?
It is in premium right now.
I'll just read it off for you guys real quick.
You and I talked about it before the live stream. Premium members only $10 a month, and it is worth it with everything that you get. You get the bets the minute we place them, picks, all those things. $9,600 in DraftKings. While I think minus 550 is a little wide, I think $9,600 in DraftKings is probably worth it because it's such a clear path with the takedowns, with the control time. And that's what scores well in DraftKings. Finishes, takedowns, and control time. That's what scores well. And I think RDA will definitely get 2 of those 3 things. You agree?
I agree.
All right, there we go. And then Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line 66-79. This is the rare situation where the underdog has the higher strike line, but that's because his volume is nuts. I'm not touching it because I don't even know when he's going to have an opportunity to throw that many strikes. He may just be constantly peppering him out there, or he may just be on his back for 12 of 15 minutes. So not going to touch the Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line. Jacob and I both like RDA. We both have him in DraftKings, or like him for DraftKings. And the minus 550 odds are definitely wide, even though we're pretty confident in him winning. Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have the main event of the evening, fight number 15. We have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson taking on Kevin Holland. Wonderboy Thompson, 16-6 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, but he's coming off back-to-back grappling losses. Kevin Holland at 23-8 overall, 2-1 in his last 5, and he's just coming off that wild matchup with Khamzat Chimaev. This is an interesting fight. And what I am, Thanksgiving, we're thankful. What I'm thankful for is that we get to see them both fight strikers. Stephen Thompson just got 2 grapplers in a row. Kevin Holland, I feel like he's only fought grapplers. Everybody Kevin Holland fights is just immediately a grappler, and Kevin Holland has 0 takedown defense whatsoever. So I'm glad that these guys, we're going to get to see how good their striking actually is. We know how good Wonderboy striking is. We've seen it for years. Kevin Holland, we've just seen like little glimpses of it. He's an accurate striker. He's got like pinpoint accuracy and power. The power is really from the accuracy, but it's there. I think Stephen Thompson wins this fight, though. I think he wins this fight. I think his in and out style is going to be hard for Kevin to get to. And I understand Kevin Holland's a very good striker, but Stephen Thompson is a very hard guy to hit. A very hard guy to hit. And the only people beating Stephen Thompson, he's lost a couple of striking matches against very, very, very high-level strikers and then wrestling matches. And Kevin Holland's not a wrestler. He may come in here and try to be one, and if he does, then what an absolute pussy Kevin Holland is. Because I hear a lot of people talking about Kevin Holland's
they finally gave him a striker. Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And I see a lot of people talking about Kevin Holland's going to wrestle Kevin Holland. If he does, then that's like if Sean Strickland wrestled Pereira.
Well, first of all, even if he wants to wrestle, it's not like a given that good wrestlers take Stephen Thompson has good takedown defense. He even defended takedowns versus Bilal, and then even threatened his own takedown. He reversed the position and threatened his own takedown versus Bilal. And Bilal, as we know, is probably one of the best wrestlers and best fighters in the UFC.
You've always been very high on Bilal. So anyway, I think Wonderboy gets it done. I do think it's a striking match. I think Wonderboy is the more composed striker, certainly the more experienced striker, the more well-rounded striker. And, that in-and-out karate style may work for him in this fight. He's 30, what is he, 39? That's not great. That's what worries me a little bit. But Stephen Thompson, his chin, he's been put out before. But I don't consider Stephen Thompson chinny. And Kevin Holland, yes, he's got the accuracy, he's got some power, but, I like Stephen Thompson in this matchup. I think he gets it done. I wish we got to see Kevin Holland versus, what's his name, the boxer there? Your boy, behind you. Daniel Rodriguez. I did it. I didn't need you.
It was like a
I wish we got to see that.
Eventually.
I wish we got to see that because then we would know how good Kevin Holland's striking actually is. But who have we seen him outstrike? We've never seen him. Stephen Thompson will be the best striker Kevin Holland has ever fought. So we'll find out how good Kevin Holland is, but I think Stephen Thompson gets this done. What do you think?
Yeah, we might both look just absolutely stupid on this because I will say I love Kevin Holland. I love him inside the octagon. I love him outside the octagon. He's a fun dude. He's just an absolute real dude. A lot of people think he's a trash talker, but he's just like a real dude. He just says what he's on his mind. He doesn't care about what everyone else thinks, and I absolutely love that about him. As a fighter, as a striker, I think he's a little bit overrated. People talk about his length and his range. In this fight, his length is not going to matter, right? Because Stephen Thompson manages the range. And every single Stephen Thompson fight, that's what he does, is manages the range. So people thinking that he's just going to throw this long jab out here, that's just going to be beating up the face of Stephen Thompson. He stands sideways and he throws front kick. You can't hit the guy. I think Kevin Holland comes in and gets a little bit frustrated because he can't hit some. If Kevin Holland isn't the most technical guy, and when he gets frustrated, he wants to start throwing, he brawls. He doesn't throw. He's not a technical guy that's slipping and ripping and throwing down the pipe. He does have a nice sniper shot when he throws that right hand, but a lot of times he's brawling with big looping shots, and you cannot brawl Stephen Thompson. Nobody can brawl Stephen Thompson. You got to hope that you can find him on when he's circling out on a lucky shot. I'm not saying that Kevin Holland can't get it done. I'm not going to sit here and say Kevin Holland's definitely not going to knock out Stephen Thompson. He can get it done, but I'm just saying, in this matchup, I will take the better striker in a mostly striking matchup, and that is Stephen Thompson. I think it's going to be it's going to be side kick. Kevin Holland's going to try and blitz in. He's going to circle away, and it's going to be that for 25 minutes. It's going to be an absolute clinic by Stephen Thompson. I'm going to be rooting for Kevin Holland. I think it's much better if Kevin Holland comes in and just smokes this dude, but, if I'm thinking critically, I got to go with Stephen Thompson. He knows how to keep range. He knows how to stay safe in striking. And he doesn't lose striking matches very often, especially a guy that's not super technical like Kevin Holland. So I go with Stephen Thompson.
I see a lot of people in the
Stephen
comments.
Thompson has no defense. That's all he is defense. You can't fucking hit the guy. Holy shit, no defense. Doesn't protect the chin. He protects it with his front kick. I know his hands are low. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Sorry.
Dude, Kenny Ash thinks this fight's at the Apex, talking about ring size. It's literally called UFC Orlando. This is not the brightest bunch. I don't know where we went wrong, but this is not the brightest bunch.
Shit.
We failed them. We've attracted the wrong people. The short bus dropped off our almost 10,000 subscribers. That's a problem. We're both on Stephen Thompson. I fully understand. The only valid comment I saw is Kevin Holland is the younger, faster, stronger fighter. Yeah, that's valid. That is literally, yeah, of course, that's valid. But, we're on Stephen Thompson for all the reasons we said. I don't have a bet on Stephen Thompson because he's plus 140. If this was the Tai Tuivasa odds and we're getting plus 180, 100%. 100%, I would do that. But plus 140, I'm just going to leave it alone, enjoy the fight, and just root for Stephen Thompson, as we all should. Look at that. Look how handsome that guy is. Look at him.
Who, Kevin? Kevin's a good-looking dude.
He's a good-looking dude, but like...
I mean, I'll take Kevin
because
all day over Steven.
I was clearly talking about the actual professional model.
I mean, I'll take Kevin all day. They both have nice high cheekbones, right? They're almost, if you look at them, they're almost kind of like the same guy, like the same facial structures.
Okay.
I kind of like, I'll take Kevin Holland all day, to be honest with you.
Okay. Enjoy. Stephen Thompson, both of our picks, $7,700 in DraftKings. Again, I would have preferred a larger discount, but it is 5 rounds. He's not typically the most high-scoring guy in the world because he doesn't sort of low volume across the board because he's just so rangy. But I think it may be worth a little bit of a mingle in your lineups at that 7,000 range, and it's a 5-round fight. What do you think?
I think that, honestly, I know that I picked Stephen Thompson to win, but I think it's boring. And even for $7,700, I don't think he scores well. I think the value is probably on Kevin because he's much more alive at all times in the fight. And 25 minutes is a long time to stay alive against a guy like Kevin. Because Kevin is a guy that I know I kind of like trashed him for his blitzing style, but that's probably what he's going to need in this fight. And that is a style that could give Stephen. I feel like I'm like convincing myself to pick Kevin now. But as far as value goes, I think Kevin's a better value. He's more dangerous.
Well, I mentioned it in the quick pick videos, and it is a bet I have up for premium members. Kevin Holland, inside the distance decision, no action. I got to check this. Oh, actually, did I actually place that? That was a bet. Oh, if I didn't place it, I probably will.
It's pretty heavy.
I was eyeing it. Then maybe I didn't.
Minus 190. That's not bad. Minus 190 is not bad.
Let me see if I placed it.
Against a guy like Steve, that's actually probably pretty good value. Minus 190.
I did not place it. You know what bet I? Well, I'm not going to tell you what bet I placed. It's for premium members, but that inside the distance decision no action bet was one that I was eyeing because Kevin Holland is the more dangerous guy. Stephen Thompson's probably not going to stop Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland could stop Stephen Thompson. So if Kevin loses a decision, you get a refund. If he wins by finish, you get paid. I mentioned that in quick picks. Those odds weren't out yet, and I'm looking at premium. It looks like I did not place that yet. Minus 190, you said? I probably won't.
I think that's pretty good
value. I probably won't.
I mean, that should be minus 250. That should be minus 250, I think, at least.
Well, I do have a bet on Stephen Thompson right now. Premium members, you can get that at WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. We have given you 38 units in the last 3 events. Revenant with the $5 super chat. Barbarina has 8 losses, and every one of them has it come in round 3 or later. If RDA wins, I like yes to start round 3 on DraftKings at minus 280 as a parlay leg. So Revenant with the super chat and the betting tip, thank you very much. Genuinely appreciated. Jacob,
that's my dude. That's my dude, Revenant.
What do you think of this Monkey Knife Fight strike line before we go? This looks like a 3-round line, honestly. But Stephen Thompson doesn't get hit.
More. Yeah, I think it's still probably more. There might be some weird grappling, not grappling per se, but like cage control situations and stuff like that.
I mean, it probably is more, but like this right here, Stephen Thompson has fought some of the best in the world, multiple title shots, fought very high level of competition. He's only hit 2.81 times per minute which is, what the fuck?
I was stretching, and then I remember doing that as a kid. Like,
oh. No, I don't remember doing that as a kid.
You never did that?
Jesus, Mary.
You never really did that? Where you like it looks
like make out with somebody? No, I haven't needed to do that. Okay. Anyway, Jacob's going to do that. And I'm going to tell you about our $1,000 giveaway. Anybody who doesn't enter this free giveaway is a moron. I'm sorry. We're going to give away $1,000 if we hit 10,000 subscribers by January 1st. We're only like 1,100 away. We could absolutely do that. In 6 weeks, we're trending that direction anyway. $1,000 giveaway. The only thing you need to do, 3 things. 1, subscribe to this channel. That's free. Subscribe to the @PixNation channel. That's free. The links are down. And we have a giveaway video where we announce the giveaway. Just comment on that video because that's how we're going to pick the winner. It's going to grab a random comment. 3 things, free as hell, require all of 5 seconds worth of time, and you could win $1,000. Do those things. Make sure we hit 10,000 subscribers before January 1st, and you will be in the running for that money. Then you could take some of that money, become a premium member. It's only $10 a month. It's only $2.50 a week. It's only 33 cents a day. And you get all the bets, all the picks, DraftKings Optimizer, DraftKings player ranking, FanDuel player ranking, Prize Picks entries, Underdog entries, Monkey Knife Fight, Knockout Kings entries. You get all of that for $10 a month, and we will never touch that price point. And if you want $50 for free, all you need to do is go to weonpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners, and we will send you $50 as a thank you. weonpicks.com/bets. Thanks for watching. We flexed up to like 250 live viewers. Thank you all very much. Genuinely appreciated. We'll see you later this week for the rest of our content.